Big up, BBK, legend.
Viven en un country. Andan en BMW para arriba. Los fines de semana se cogen a las mejores minas. Morfan bien todos los días. El día anterior al partido durmieron tranquilamente en un hotel 5 estrellas y se rascaron la verga durante 24 horas sin hacer nada, jugando al ping-pong y al pool y a la play. Juegan al fútbol todos los días de su vida. Los botines, $6.000, $5.000, no sé cuánto salen, ponele 3.000 mangos, 4.000 mangos, están vendados por un kinesiólogo. Están bien comidos, están bien entrenados, las medias que son las que no te cortan la circulación, los pantaloncitos que son los de los huevos que no te raspan los huevos, la camiseta te estira la espalda, es la que no transpira que sale 800 pesos, no sé cuánto sale una camiseta para jugar al fútbol. La pelota es perfecta, perfecta, 120 euros, inflada con un barómetro a 8 bares, la cancha no tiene un solo pozo, el arco tiene 7 metros 20 por 2,40. Te aplauden cuando salís a la cancha. La concha de tu madre no sabés parar una pelota. Le vas a pagar al arco y la tirás a la mierda. Le vas a hacer un pase a tu compañero que está a 1 metro. Y así se la pasa.
Stole that shit. That's what I do, nigga. Fuck, nigga, I stole that shit.
Stole that shit.
Big up to everyone that's locked in, and we're back, bro. Hey, yo, I missed you guys. It's been too long. But big up views to the raid, by the way. Big up views, legend, bro, legend. Cheers. Big up to you, man. Thank you for being here. And my first question to you is actually, are you surprised how big Arsenal are now, as compared to the last time we had? Do you know what I'm saying? We had some kind of parade. Are you surprised that we're as big as we are now?
Well, we just chatted down it, didn't we? I mean, I've seen quite a few parades in my life. I've never seen nothing like that. You know, apparently, I'm told people have flown in from India, America, Canada. Apparently, I don't know who it is that somebody did say to me. This husband and wife had flown in from Australia. Jesus Christ, man, fucking unbelievable. But I've never seen nothing like that. I mean, the organisation that must have gone into that is incredible. And Islington Town Council, man, they did a fabulous job, I thought. No trouble that I saw. It was a celebration party, brilliant. Yeah, it's quite something, you know. Thoroughly enjoyed it, even though in the end I watched it on the Sky News. But yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, you guys, must have had a great meet up. I spoke with Kenny, but he was in Holloway Road, which is way over the other side to where I was. I was in Athnell Road, but you know, I walked up to Mount Grove, and it was just, I thought, this is just mad. It was absolute carnage, you know. It reminded me of the old days of being in the North Bank. You're like that, you know.
Sardines, yeah.
It was incredible, but great experience. Be up, Rob.
Yeah, guys.
And I think, well, the thing is now, Arsenal, since the last time we won the Premier League, it's a global thing, isn't it now?
Yeah,
you know, it's a global thing, and I think that's great. I think it's brilliant.
That's where the money comes from, Jez.
Yeah,
we're global.
That is true. Yeah, all the clubs now, really, the big names are all global, aren't they? I mean, it's not just English. It's Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern, all these massive clubs now. And it's only for the betterment of the fan base. So yeah, it's good.
100%, man. 100%. Big up. BBK, how did you celebrate the parade? How'd you?
It's glorious, man. It's glorious, and I'm out here trying to win another title with another NBA title with these New York Knicks. You know what I mean? So
I heard.
Another
I
parade
heard.
to go burn New York City down. But the parade was, listen, the size of the parade, it made me realize this was one of the reasons why the rivals hate us, you know, because during a dormant 22-year run, our fan base grew. Most teams at the top level, if they have a bad 22-year run like we did, at least the best, the fan base will stagnate or won't grow as big as it did. You know what I mean? But for us to be so bad for so long and the fan base to grow exponentially and then put it on display for the world to see, you know, shut down the whole continent of Africa. I think Uganda had their own parade. Kenya had their own parade.
Crazy.
You know what I mean? It's mad. And it's one of the reasons why I think it's the biggest reason why the rivals hate us so much, just how massive the fan base is while not winning. And now that we are starting to win, it scares them even more. But I celebrated my ass off, man. I couldn't, even after the Champions League loss, I'm still celebrating the Premier League win. You know what I mean? So I'm still on cloud 9 right now, and I'm gonna rub it in all the rivals' face until someone can grab that trophy from North London. You know what I mean? So life is good right now. It's good to be an Arsenal fan. It's good to be a New York Knicks fan as well. So it's all good right now. It's a good time to follow sports if you're me. So big up to you, big up to the panel, and big up to the world-class chat.
Big up, man.
Show you
Big
about
up.
the reggae boys, eh, BBK?
Them fuckers, man. Oh, Jesus Christ. They're the only ones that it could have been perfect, Manny.
It was close. It was close.
Oh my God. And we had opportunities, but yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
It is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. Jamboy,
Yeah,
how'd
man.
you celebrate it, bro?
Yeah, well, bit deflated the night before. I can't lie, I was a bit deflated, bit disappointed the way it went. Felt for the players, to be honest, having to play that way, but that's what the manager wants them to do. But overall, I thought we defended really well in that final. I thought defensively we were really good. Just for a crazy moment from Mosquera. I'm not blaming him, by the way. It's just he's got it in him a little bit rash, a bit of a rash. So that's how I was always taught as a youngster playing football. Don't dive in. Yeah, he should have just let him go. But anyway, yeah, no, I was contemplating whether to actually go to the parade or not because I felt that shitty on the Saturday night. But I thought, no, I want to go because I want to obviously celebrate the Premier League win and meet up with as many of you guys as I could. It's a shame that it was so, well, it weren't a shame, but in terms of on that basis, it was a shame that it was so packed because when you landed in London, as soon as you left the station you was coming out of, they was shutting the station for it was exit only. So you couldn't actually go back in there and get a tube to another part of London. You had to walk, and to be honest, to walk, getting through all of them crowd, you had absolutely no chance. You had no signal on phones, even all the 5G, 4G. It's like, honestly, it was Wreck-It Ralph. It was just mental. So it was difficult, but at the same time, I actually can honestly say the whole time I was up London with all the different nationalities, different people, different colours, I actually felt so safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I felt so safe because I was wearing an Arsenal shirt. I'm not saying if you didn't have an Arsenal shirt, you wouldn't have been. But honestly, I went up there alone and I felt safe. I felt so safe. And it was a great atmosphere. It was a great day. Come out of the station. The first thing I was I had to look at was some woman was standing there holding up a big banner and had a picture of Hincapié laying there with his arse out. That's the first thing I thought this is going to be a good day, man. That's jokes, man. But no, yeah, come out of there, walk down. Couldn't find DJB. He was the other side of the road, and then Binks come and said hello, and then Kenny walked past, and I was with Kenny for most of the day, to be honest. But yeah, as soon as the bus went past, J-Lux as well. J-Lux come and his sister was there, and they was with me all day. As soon as the bus went past, because Kenny went off with someone else and had to do something. As soon as the bus went past on the road, all of a sudden people were walking up behind the bus. So we've all jumped over the barrier. We're walking up behind the bus, giving it all that. I looked over and Kenny's there, isn't he? I met up with Kenny again, and then we carried on walking down. And then I walked to Finsbury Park. Right, struggled to get there, but yeah, went up there to see a few guys, but a lot of you guys had gone. I met up with Natstar, he was there, and then I walked to King's Cross Station and waited there for about 40 minutes before they were letting people in. But overall, it was a good day, but it was very tiring, and I wasn't surprised by how many people were there because everyone knows, but the fan base is massive. It's global. It's worldwide. So, but it was just great to see. It was great to see, and I really did enjoy it. It took me a week to recover, but yeah, no, it was good. I'm just praying for more times like that. It'd be great.
100%, man. 100%. 1,500,000 is crazy. I don't know if it's accurate, but it is crazy. Rob, how was yours? Obviously, I said me and you and Shane played together, but like, how was it?
Yeah, man, it was great to see you and Shane dart side as well. A little bit later on, wasn't it? And yeah, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I went down there, so I'm close to Turnpike Lane, so I jumped on the tube, not really kind of thinking about it. And then, we got to Finsbury Park, and obviously I've been in the tube when it's been rush hour before, but I've never seen anything like that in the tube. We get off the tube and it's just rammed, but it's not moving. Obviously in rush hour, most of the time it's moving a bit or a lot or whatever, people shuffling around, but it was just stuck. So if you were claustrophobic, if you have anything like any nervousness like this, you were going to struggle in that situation. And we were just not moving. And very slowly, they started to shuffle us along. And then, as if this wasn't enough, this crammed, crushed space we were in, suddenly you started to hear, emergency, evacuate station immediately, and that kept going off. And then there's people looking at each other. I'm thinking to myself, please don't people start panicking. Please just keep it together. Fortunately, from this point, they kind of ushered us up the spiral staircase at Finsbury Park. And then they ushered us round to the Seven Sisters, the bit where M&S is. So eventually we got out there, and then obviously I'm like, okay, let's try and find people. No signal. And then you're trying to find somewhere to get signal. And then eventually I found you guys at Sainsbury's. And then, we walked down into the park and tried to catch the parade. But it was a touch actually at the end when you suggested us go back through the park, Manor House.
Yeah,
way.
Manor House.
I think, to be honest with you, if we do hopefully we do another parade next season, I'm just going to walk. I'm just going to walk from Turnpike Lane up to Manor House and then just enter Finsbury Park.
Just through the park, innit? It's not even that. It's not even that long.
Like for me, it'll be about a 45-minute, 50-minute walk, but I mean, it won't exactly be a long walk as such. You could stop for a beer along the way because there was loads of Arsenal fans, but no one was obviously stopping in the pubs that much. And when I was walking back, the pubs weren't really full, despite there being mass throngs of people walking past. So I popped in one of the little pubs there. But yeah, so the whole thing, it was. I'm like Jamboy says, it's taken me like a week to recover. I mean, I would say I'm about 90% now. Because with the title win, I've pretty much been on it for 2 weeks. Because from the title win through to the Champions League final, which I think I was getting some looks in the pub. By the way, I had to get. You know what? I was having people chucking things at me like, the sort of things they say like, oh, look how far he's brought us. Isn't he one of the greatest managers we've ever had? And I'm trying to maintain because I'm essentially surrounded by top gooners in real life. So do you know what I mean? But I can be reactive and I'm kind of like, I start reacting and I'm like, oh, do you know what? I need to just chill here because I can see my peripheral vision. People are looking at me, heads are turning. And I'm like, do you know what? Just chill. But I think because my memory gets a bit hazy during the game, but I seem to have a recollection of me saying something like, this is cowards football, this is coward football. And then people kind of looking at me and I was just like, yeah, you need to shut up, Rob. You need to just shut up. But yeah, it's been about 2 weeks of being on it. So I'm just glad it's all over. Like, I think I had my last sort of drinks on Tuesday because my birthday was on Monday, so that kind of carried through, and then I was like, I just need to stop now. This is just exhausting. So I think just about now I'm pretty much back to 90-100% maybe. But
and you found your watch.
Huh?
You found your watch. That was a good one.
I had that stupid moment where I thought my watch had been taken, but I'd actually gone home, taken it off, and come back out again, and then started because I was that kind of done in by that point. I was moaning that someone stole my watch. One of the Arsenal fans stole. What? How can they do that to another Gooner? You know. So
No, it was
That's
all
what
good.
Greek does to you, mate.
It was all
mate, honestly. It just, but great times, man. Great times.
Yeah,
Just
it was
a shame
all
we
love.
couldn't catch up with more people, but to coordinate in that situation,
Yeah, it's impossible.
nightmare.
Impossible. But yeah, it was all love. It was all love. It was beautiful times. Manny, how was yours?
Yeah, well, first of all, I live overseas, so I had no chance of being able to get there in time for the parade. I was doing actually a watch-along for the Champions League final with a mate of mine. Obviously, we all know him, Danny, AFC TV. And not too long afterwards, I went on to Jez's channel to do a little reaction stream with him. Big up to Jez as always. Love to be on that panel as always. And the next day, I mean, obviously, it's interesting to hear what Rob was saying about how at different points in the season we were just criticizing the way the football was being played. We were angry and apoplectic with some of the results. And, you know, one of the things which I love about being a part of this subset of the community is, you know, we're not those types of people who will just have this whole everything is awesome, everything is magnificent, we won the trophy, we're the best team in the land. I don't really want to go along with that. We're exceptionally analytical. We trust our what we see, and we own our points of view. But I have to compliment Rob for having the sense to just, you know, shut up and go along with it, because, you know, if he had uttered any of those things, it would have been a recipe for, a little rumble, so to speak. Exactly. And I'm just glad that, you know, he had his watch safe in that regard. And certainly the way things were, I didn't really think of going. But, you know, I was happy, and I was sort of just, you know, willing to just go about my own day. And there will be some other times when I might possibly feel like going out and buying a beer. My birthday, of course, being one of them. Trivia, Mikel Arteta and I have the same birthday. He's a year younger than me. So for me, it's a case of, because there's so little a transition time between the end of the season and the upcoming World Cup, I think it's fair to say that people are, you know, we are entitled to feel happy, in some cases really ecstatic that we've broken the 22-year drought, but focus now has to start shifting to the next season. So I'm really glad that you've got this little title, Keep, Sell and Bench, because obviously planning has to start now. And as Roy Keane said, if you fail to prepare, you must prepare to fail.
Mm-hmm.
Facts, 100% more. Look, we celebrated it. We had fun. Now it's back to business, people. It's back to business. So, like I just said, back to business. Let's get straight into it, bro. David Raya, what a season, bro. Big up to him, man. Keep, bro. Amazing goalkeeper, bro. He's even better than what I thought. I didn't think that Raya would reach these this length. You know, I didn't at this height or this. I thought he had potential, but not like this, bro. So keep from me, bro. Jez, what would you say about Raya?
Well, it says it all, doesn't it, really, mate? 3 Golden Gloves on the bounce. Right now, for me, he's undoubtedly one of the best He is the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. And I'd go as far as to say he's certainly in the top 5 in the world of football. So, got to keep him, man.
100%. BBK.
I too had my doubts about Raya, you know, because I remember last year he had made some silly mistakes in a penalty shootout against Man United, and the game away at Old Trafford, that free kick for Bruno when he was damn near standing on one goalpost to let Bruno score. I was one of those guys who was waiting for Raya to, you know, prove me wrong, so to speak. And God damn, Raya, like he's our player of the season. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm voting for a player of the season, it's, you know, he gets my vote, and I hope that he gets the starting job in these World Cup finals for Spain. But yeah, man, he is, you know, top goalkeeper, man. Keep him. He's single. I think I counted like 16 points that I can credit to him saving us this season. You know, so yeah, the number one keeper, man. You keep him, and you know, yeah, best there is.
100%, man. 100%. The other day, Shane told me he's the best keeper in the world. I'm looking around. I'm saying, don't know. He probably is. He probably is, but that's isn't it?
He's in the conversation. Yeah, he's in the conversation. I don't know about the best in the world. Yeah, I still got man like Oblak and Courtois. You know, it's like those. They have an aura about them. But he is.
Do you think he had a better season than them? Then can we say that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, 100%, man. Jam.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely a keep. Again, yeah, I agree that he's definitely a lot better than I thought he would be. And I do think right now, in terms of the season, he's the best keeper in the world. Like going off this season, there's a couple of little constructive criticisms that I would say that I don't like about him, and that's when he's faffing around with the ball at his feet, or when he's passing the ball along the floor into midfield. Sometimes he can be a bit dodgy there, and penalties. But I'm nitpicking. Overall, he's a very good goalkeeper, and he's definitely 100% keep. And he has been very good this season. I personally would go with Rice, but he's definitely. I wouldn't be angry if he won Player of the Season. I wouldn't be. So well done, and he should be Spain's number one. It'd be criminal if he ain't.
Facts, man. Absolute facts. I don't know why he wasn't Spain number one even last season, but
yeah,
what do I know? I don't watch them like that. Rob.
Yeah, 100% keep. Agree with what John Boy just said as well. I was going to make a similar point. He still makes me a tad nervous. Maybe it's just kind of because of the past more than anything. He still makes me a tad nervous when he's got the ball at his feet, when, he's being closed down. He might have to play a quick pass. I'm still not 100% sold on his decision-making in that kind of situation. But like you say, it's nitpicking. I mean, yeah, he's been absolute class. And it does say a lot. When was the last time? Does it really happen that much that a goalkeeper is player of the season for a team that wins the Premier League? I mean,
Raya. I think Raya was the last one, wasn't he? Not Raya, De Gea. Sorry, for Man United.
Yeah. Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah.
It kind of says it all, doesn't it? Really. But yeah, there we go. No, 100%.
Facts, 100%. Manny.
You're going to get a loaded answer from me. And I remember saying on Jez's stream that there were many aspects of, Raya's game that I didn't like, sort of also piggybacking off what Jamboy was talking about. And even now, be it on Twitter or Instagram, I'm in so many debates with a lot of fans who say that, like you, Raya should be the number one for Spain in the World Cup. That's not going to happen. Luis de la Fuente has worked with Unai Simon since his days managing Spain's youth teams. He knows him well. Unai, of course, was also the winning goalkeeper for the Nations League and the Euros back-to-back. So it's a little bit like Jordan Pickford in England or any other England goalkeeper back in the day, David Seaman, Peter Shilton, or whoever have you. The manager is not going to drop the long-time number one just because of fan pressure or because, club form dictates that they should be dropped. And I'm not going to go so far to say that he is the best in the world or even necessarily the best in the league. He is a fine shot stopper, great reactions, and I will give him his credits for the part that he played in helping us win the league. But this is where as well that we also have to be very guarded as well and make sure that we don't go overboard in gassing up players simply because they play for the Arsenal. I was a huge fan of David Seaman growing up, and Jez was very fortunate enough to remember legends like, Pat Jennings and maybe even going further back, Bob Wilson back in the day. But even they had their moments when their game could be criticised, and I was also quite critical of, some issues in Seaman's game as well, especially, when it came to being beaten by long-range shots. We can't just forget all of that. This is probably going to segue into another player we'll be talking about. Raya should be kept. And I think you're going to get a unanimous vote that we should definitely keep David Raya. But if there's one thing that Raya definitely needs, it's proper competition. Because many is the time we see certain players be allowed to get a little bit too comfortable in goal because they don't really have a good quality backup who's pushing them, making them better versions of themselves, and really forcing them to really work on their game. And it's happened with Aaron Ramsdale, and if David Raya's not careful, it could happen with him. So we must keep Raya, definitely. And I want to see him, work on his game and try to improve himself. But I'll give him his credits. He's not my player of the season, but he's played his part, and so he deserves his credits.
Yeah, fair points, mate. Fair points.
Fair points. 100%, man. Fair points. Nats. Talk to me. David Raya.
You mute, mate.
Mute.
Mute.
Experience streamer and all that generational steam to me. But yeah,
It's happened to all of us, brother.
Yeah. No, I hear it. But with David Raya, if you asked me this about a few months ago, I'd still say keep, but I've been banging on you get an elite level goalkeeper. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, someone that
you don't think he's elite?
No, but I'm talking about 2 months ago. Now it's a different story. Now he stays, not just stays, but he's number one. But the one thing that he needs is competition, bruv. He needs exactly. So he needs, for me, because the problem is as great of a season as he has, and he's my player of the season, which tells you pretty much everything. You know, if he doesn't, if Kepa's still here, he's not really going to improve that much, which is going to be a problem down the line. Whereas if we get like another keeper that can challenge him, take him to even the next level, like, because I've been saying this like the past week or two, he's convinced me that he's world class now. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, Golden Glove and all of that, Champions League final, brilliant. You know, and he's saved us so many points all season. But in order to be elite, I just think he's at the very, very least, one step away, maybe two. But he needs that, you know, number two, if you will, to basically push him all the way. Because if we have a Kepa or even a like Klein coming back from loan, etc., like Stepford, that's not going to be enough. Do you know what I'm saying? If you know your position's guaranteed, even though I don't believe in guarantees, but let's just say it's cemented, it's a problem. You look at Bukayo Saka, you look at Martin Odegaard for all these years where they haven't had any competition. And then this season when Odegaard has some competition, he struggles big time, even with the injuries. So basically we're at that point now, guys, where it's just like, and with David Raya in particular, he needs healthy competition. I'm not saying get another number one like I was before. That being said, basically what we need, to summarize it, we need a Kelleher. We basically need
just thinking about him. I was just thinking of him
to push him, to take him potentially to that elite level. Do you know what I'm saying? So that he can look back over his shoulder when he drops the stinker and all of that, rather than, well, it doesn't matter if I have a howler here and there, if I'm a 5 out of 10 or 4 out of 10 here and no. 7s and 8s minimum, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Top tier, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? We're not
do you know who the keeper is for that? Do you know who the keeper is? You probably won't get him. We probably won't get him in terms of being number two. But the goalkeeper I would go for to fit this situation that you're talking about is Roofs from Sunderland. That's the goalkeeper. I think he's brilliant.
The problem is, Jamboy, we're not going to get him because Sunderland have disqualified for Europe, and Regis Labrie has made it crystal clear he's his new number one. He got rid of Anthony Patterson for that reason. But a really good example of a type of goalkeeper that we should be looking for is a seasoned professional who does some really good work and who's happy to be the number two, but also is prepared in his own way to step up and do a job in case the situation demands it. Marco Bizot from Aston Villa. He's brought out the best in Emi Martinez this season. Aston Villa are Europa League winners, and they've also got back to the Champions League. And, you know, ever since they got rid of Robin Olsen, who was okay, but not really at that level, Bizot has really brought the best back to Martinez. And that is why we need to get someone who will really...
To be honest...
Yeah, he is Dutch.
I know I say Kelleher as an example, but to be honest, I don't see why we can't slap 30, 40 mil on the table to Brentford and just be like, I know he's your number one, but
it's whether they want. It's whether they play as number two, though.
Premier League champions,
brilliant
in the Champions League final. Do you know what I'm saying? And you've seen with Kepa the games that he's had this season just gone. Kelleher will definitely get that. Might even get more. And you know we pay high wages as well. He's not going to take a pay cut. and he won't need
Yeah.
to. So I don't see why not. Just test the water, innit? But all the other
Yeah,
keepers
we'll-
you mentioned, that's fair enough. But I don't see why we can't get, because for me, Kelleher, it used to be David Raya, but I think Kelleher is probably one of the best number twos.
No, but the thing is, Nats, listen, he left Liverpool to go to Brentford
To be
because he
number
wants
one.
to be the number one, and he deserved to be
Yeah.
the number one.
But we're
So why
in a
would he
different
jump-
ballpark. We're in a different
No, but
ballpark,
but let's maybe not. But then when he left, Liverpool also ended up winning the Premiership. I don't think he won a Premiership medal then. But listen, again, a goalkeeper's real salary is first team football. So he is not going to want to, go back to another top club to be the number two and be basically told that as long as, Ray is in front of you, there's no talk of competition. I'm sorry, I don't think that's going to be the case. We'll have to look really hard, and we're going to talk about Kepa soon. I'm one of many
Difficult.
people who didn't want Kepa to be. It is going to be difficult. So, it's going to be difficult to find someone.
I'm not saying it's going to be easy, Manny. I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but if we want to get over the line in the Champions League now, because we've proven that we can get over the line in the Prem, why not? Do you know what I'm saying? We've already got links with other players, which we'll talk about later, I'm sure, that we're all aware of. Do you know what I'm saying? If you want to be the best, like the squad depth in terms of numbers we've got, we need to add quality. Because let's be real, it's fucking Brentford. Yeah? It's fucking Brentford. They overachieved again last season. This season, I don't think they'll get relegated like I said they would last season. Obviously, I got that wrong. But at the same time, it's just like if we get him for 40 odd mil, yeah, and he'll get games. He won't get as many games as David Raya, but you never know. There might be, touch wood and all that shit. There might be an injury to David Raya for a month or so. In that month, he could do wonders, and he could be looking at it just like, do you know what? Bit taller and all that shit. I back myself. I could probably displace him. Because let's be real, we got David Raya when Aaron Ramsdale was number one. Bear that in mind, people. Number one. So my thought process is basically, look, Keller, like, we need competition for David Raya, but this whole, like, you being number two is not cemented. That's just down to you, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? And that will make David Raya play even better. Whereas if we stick, for example, with, we don't know what's going to happen with Klein coming back on loan, Stepford, are they ready to step up and be number two, be the cup keepers?
I think Hines gone for good, mate. He's gone for good.
Hines gone.
Okay, so basically,
Stepford's probably too young.
Stepford. Yeah, but Stepford, yeah. I don't think Stepford's ready yet to even be number two for us. Do you know what I'm saying?
But I was going to say, like, sorry to cut in, but I was going to say with that Raya situation coming in with Ramsdale, I think there was a plan there, whether it was overt or
For
not,
him to
get
be
him
number
into the
one.
team. I don't think Arteta. I mean, I'd be surprised. I think Arteta's happy with Raya as number one. I mean, I agree with what you guys are saying in principle, but I think, like, I can't see Arteta having another plan for another goalkeeper to bring in to replace Raya. I think we're more likely, knowing this club, we're more likely to do something like get Sommer or Ortega on a free or something like that, because both of them are out of contract. That wouldn't surprise me.
No, I hear that, Rob. Like, I'm not talking about Keller to sort of like replace him. I'm looking at it more as purely competition.
Push him.
Yeah, exactly. If we want to win the Champions League, if that's the only trophy we win next season is the Champions League, yeah, those kind of signings, it might not be Kelleher, it might be someone else, it might be Jan Sommer, it might be, do you know what I'm saying? To be honest, even for a year, I'd take Neuer. Do you know what I'm saying? Even though, like, yeah, he's a legend and all of that, but he's 40. It is what it is. But, someone that can really, push David Raya.
And also
to
maybe
be that
help
elite
like
level
team team
keeper.
maybe as well.
Yeah, experience.
Yeah. With a Neuer and a Jan Sommer, for example, blessings and wisdoms and all of that.
Neuer's going to be stepping out for Germany in the World Cup in a couple of weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And he's also signed a 1-year deal with Bayern, so he's off the table. But that's some pick inspired. I think he's leaving Inter Milan. He's coming close to the end of his career. I think
I'll take Sommer.
maybe
I'll
he'll
take
enjoy
Sommer all
the
day long.
Yeah, 100%, man. Big,
Better than Kepa.
100%. Let's move to the second goalkeeper. Yeah, this guy, Kepa, terrible. I don't know why we signed him in the first place. I can't lie. I don't know why we signed him in the first place. fucked up the final. No reason really to keep him. I'll be honest. You're not gonna push Raya. So for me, sell, man. Sell. Jez?
Yeah, not good enough for me, I'm afraid. Pointless purchase. Yeah, he's never really ripped up any trees, has he? I thought he was quite abysmal in the League Cup final, to be honest. And for me, sell him, see what you can get for him, move on, get somebody else. And the one thing I just was going to say about Raya, excellent goalkeeper, but our goalkeeping coach, you've got to coach him on penalties, man. He's fucking awful.
Facts.
He dives every bloody time. That last penalty, right? He dived before he even struck the ball. You know what I mean? And I'm like, you're telegraphing where you're going. Anyway, move on from that. He needs a lot of coaching in that aspect. I get it. Don't face a lot of penalties, but when you're in competition, then you are going to face them. So yeah, but Kepa for me, no, move him on, get somebody else.
100%, man, 100%. And it's again, second goalkeeper needs to be a penalty specialist. There has to be. You got a point, Jez, because if we're keeping Raya as our number one, he's amazing. Like I said, on field, he's amazing, bro. But when it comes to penalties, he needs to be subbed off. But yeah. BBK.
Yeah. Listen, the thing on Raya is not gonna take any more exponential leaps to get better. He's in his prime, bro. He's 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's 20 something. He's 30 years old goalkeepers. This is who he is. And Rashid, you took my talking point. What I was gonna say, the next goalkeeper has to be a penalty specialist, because the thing with Kepa is, the only good thing is that we only paid $5 million for him. I think we can get more than $5 million for him, so we can turn a quick profit there. But yeah, then the next goalkeeper has to be of a different profile. Like we talk about our strikers, link-up striker versus the bagsman, a different profile. We need a goalkeeper for a different profile than Kepa. And yeah, no ties to any former Chelsea keeper either. Go do some scouting, do your job, get a goalkeeper that's like 6'4", 6'6", and then big lads in the goal. And yeah, and we take our chances with a young and upcoming keeper, because Kepa, definitely, he's not off the levels.
No, 100%, man. I mean, the chat went wild. Sell. That's what I was seeing. Big up the chat as well, man. Big up PT Guna. Big up Inconsistino. Big up Binks. Big up all the real ones. Jalil, Canal as well. Ross the Boss. Legends. Jam. Kepa.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Yeah, I agree. So, didn't want him in the first place. However, the fact that it was only 5 million and he cost Chelsea 75 million a few years before, and he'd been at Real Madrid and wherever else he'd went, getting him in as a number 2 for 5 million, I didn't think was a major problem. I felt that we needed to strengthen on the outfield when he come in more so. I think that was more of a concern. And with this season, I think in terms of him going, I think there's outfield players that are more of a priority. We need to move on more than him. If he was still our number 2 next season, I'd prefer him not to be. But like I say, I think there's other players, outfield players, that are more of a priority to move on than say the number 2 goalkeeper. But no, I do agree. I would move him on, maybe for a little profit. I don't particularly rate him. I think how he ended up at Real Madrid and Chelsea, I don't know. But yeah, I just feel that there's other players that need more concentration on moving. Because don't forget, all the players that we're going to say sell, and there's going to be a lot of them, maybe 8 or 9. You're not going to be able to get rid of all them in one window. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So I think there's priorities here. Like, so if you had to pick the 4 that are going to go, would Kepa be one of them? Probably not. So, but yeah, I would move him on. Yeah, and as I said, I would. I know it's probably unlikely, but someone like Roofs at Sunderland's been brilliant all season. would he turn? The only reason he would turn down coming to Arsenal is because he wants first team football. The club might actually appeal to him. He might go, cool, yeah, Arsenal, triple my wages for a number 2. Yeah, I'll go there. And he might want to be part of a big club like Arsenal. So I don't think he's played for any other big clubs before. And he's turned out to be a gem for Sunderland this year. I think he'd be ideal. And then why couldn't he play, say, for instance, at home to like a Coventry in the league, or other teams like that ilk? Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So he hasn't got to be, look, Premier League, you're number 2, you ain't playing unless Raya's injured. He could also rotate Raya as well, give him a week off here and there. But yeah, I would sell him. I would, yeah. But I wouldn't want to go into the kitty. Wouldn't want to go into our kitty for outfield players. Go big on a second string goalkeeper that impacts who we're signing outfield. So you know what I mean? It's one of them. But yeah, I would ultimately let him go. It's priorities, yeah. But I would let him go, yeah. I would. Definitely.
You know how they say you buy cheap, you buy twice.
Yeah.
This is what happens with Kepa. You bought 5 million, you bought cheaper, we gotta buy another one. And the problem is he thinks he's good.
He's not that good.
He's good. He thinks he's of the levels, and Bournemouth didn't even want this bitch. So yeah, move him on.
Move him on. Yeah, move him on.
Rob.
Yeah, man. So look, I think we only got him because we could get him on the cheap. I think we might have a problem. He's got 3 years left on his contract, I believe. So that's slightly problematic, although I don't know how much the contract is, but still. Yeah, I mean, look, in terms of what Taron touched on something earlier, just from a slightly different perspective of getting a good young keeper in. There is a keeper for Lens called Ritter who's quite good. He won goalkeeper of the year. So that's another sort of channel we could potentially go down. But then to Jamboy's point, that guy's probably going to cost because his value has kind of gone up this season quite a lot. He's probably going to cost. And yeah, I do fully agree with that point. I actually think that about a couple of other players who will come to as well, who might be sort of like controversial ones to maybe keep. But it's certainly in terms of Kepa, there's not much more I can add. Sorry. It's just, we all know he's not good enough. We know he's probably just bought because he was cheap. And yeah, surprise, surprise, it didn't work out.
Fair. Manny, talk to me.
Yeah, as I alluded to, Rashid, I was one of many people who did not want to see Kepa join the club because, you know, when he joined Chelsea, obviously, that outrageous world record fee, a lot of things were expected of him. But you could see how far he declined. And, you know, they actually earned their success in winning the Champions League and all those other trophies under Tuchel in spite of Kepa, not because of him. And, you know, it was Edouard Mendy who was actually starting. A nice piece of trivia, the only time Unai Emery lost a Europa League final was in 2019 in Baku, and Kepa was actually the starting goalkeeper for Chelsea, but that really was as good as it got for him. Now, ironically, he does seem to have a knack of being a more than decent penalty specialist, and he has been brought on to, play for the team in penalty shootouts with, you know, a mixed record of success. So if Arteta saw something in him which said that, you know, he could be good on penalties, why couldn't he have had the foresight to sub off Raya and bring Kepa on for the shootout? At least in theory, we would have had a much better chance. But the thing about Kepa is, I was one of many people who actually supported the decision to, play him in the League Cup final. And he, it has to be said, he blotted his copybook. But again, I didn't want Kepa in the first place because his petulance as well when Maurizio Sarri, if memory serves me right, was Chelsea manager. That was another thing. He had too many red flags, and he found his level at Bournemouth. I mean, I'm not too sure that Bournemouth necessarily didn't want him. They were quite happy with him. But then when Arsenal came calling and offered him a chance to join the club, he said, why not? I think the bloke's found his level. He is no longer good on the starting spot at any really top ambitious club. He can do a decent job for a mid-table club, but that's pretty much it. And there is actually a clause which says that since we got him for £5 million, if anyone comes in with an offer of £5 million or more, he could be out the door. So move him on, get a decent, a more than decent backup goalkeeper on a free, someone with experience like Jan Sommer, who can also step in and do a good job, and who also has a decent record in penalty shootouts. I believe in Euro 2020, if memory right, he was the Switzerland goalkeeper who prevented France from going to the semi-finals. I believe he saved Kylian But as far as Kepa is concerned, I never wanted him. And if we have an opportunity to get shot of him, let's just take it. Let's just, bin him off.
How much do you think we would get for him, Manny? How much do you think
that is another thing. That's another thing. Because the reason why I mentioned the clause is because a large number of coaches around the world will have probably done their homework on this bloke and determined that, he's a poser. And I think, was it Jamboy who said that he thinks he's better than he is? Was it
BBK?
BBK. I'm sorry about that. It was BBK who said it perfectly. He's one of those players who thinks that he's actually better than he is, when in all actuality he isn't. And many of us know which goalkeepers actually walk the talk when it comes to bragging about how good they are and the belief they have in themselves. So now his value has nosedived so much that I don't see any club being willing to take him away from us and pay more. So we're not going to, make a profit on him. Let's forget about that. The best we can hope for is to try to break even on it. And the fact that we got him on the cheap means it could prove to be something, a little bit good. I mean, breaking even isn't really something to shout about, but if it means getting this dead wood off our books, by all means, let's go for it.
Would you think a promoted club would take a punt on him at $5 million?
The problem is, again, Jamboy, if you take a look at the clubs that have been promoted, like Coventry, Ipswich, and Hull, with the exception of maybe Hull, I don't see any promoted club wanting to go in for him. If a championship,
I actually think it's him that wouldn't want to go to them. He's so arrogant.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, if the club receive a good enough offer for him, they're not going to make a profit on him, but they'll break even. They'll say, out you go. And it's a sign that he wasn't even allowed to play and make enough appearances to earn a Premiership winner's medal. He's got to go. And whoever comes in for him, it could very well be Ajax, who've already taken 2 Arsenal rejects off us. Both of those poor buggers are now injured, and they're not going to be playing in the World Cup. If Ajax want to have a long-term replacement for some of their aging goalkeepers, here's a Spaniard who thinks he's good. He'll get a move to a historically big Dutch club. Let them have at it.
Yeah.
Okay. Sell him to Tottenham or Newcastle.
Ha! Fat chance of that.
Tottenham or Newcastle. Newcastle need a keeper.
Yeah. Hopefully we do get rid of this guy. But Nats, what's your thoughts, man?
En La Basura, get in the fucking bin. Never wanted him. Sell his bomber club. Period. Do you know what I'm saying? That guy, like, even before the League Cup final, but the League Cup final cemented it. And he's not even that good of a penalty saver, for us anyway, to justify him being here. I mean, the fact of the matter is, he took a pay cut to go to Arsenal. He took a fucking pay cut. That tells you everything. But the only good part about him taking a pay cut means that there's more teams he can go to. And we've got Andrea Mafioso, bad boy Burton, mate. So he can get that done. It's nothing to him. Yeah, he'll get him out the door. One way or the other, he will get him out the door. 5 mil, even if it's 1 mil, I don't care what the transfer fee is. Just get the wages. Just get him out of the club. He's not good enough. He never was good enough. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes, Arteta had a good hold on him, but that's not really saying a huge amount. Do you know what I'm saying? And he doesn't make up for it for what he does on the pitch. Like, in that League Cup final, Arteta played for Pens, didn't work out. We got beat. And he was a major reason as to why we got beat in it. If we had David Raya in there, would we have lost 2-0? I don't think so. We might have still lost it, but I don't think we would have lost it 2-0. It might have been on penalties. So my thing is, get rid. We can get even better for cheaper. Never mind pay 10, 20, 30, even 40 mil. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I would rather Stepford. Even though I said I don't think he's ready for number 2, but I'd rather not pay anything and put him as number 2.
You'd rather potential in it, at least the potential,
100%,
maybe.
100%, bro. 100%.
What you got to remember is every goalkeeper is that age at some point, and if you don't give them the chance or experience, they don't become the Neuers and the Buffons and whatever, do they? So, yeah,
because
I can see all angles.
We had Martinez, exactly. We had Emi Martinez, yeah?
Yeah.
And we allowed him to go because at the time, you know, Leno was better. And then when he realised Leno weren't good enough, he couldn't hack it at that level. Then we brought in Aaron Ramsdale. Then we brought in David Raya. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. You know, if goalkeepers not well, it's definitely not a number one priority. But if it's not one of the priorities, that's fine. I agree with that. But at the same time, there are certain players, and I know we there's a lot of players that need to go, and I'm sure you guys will agree. But he is definitely one of them. He might not be the first one on the list to go, but he's one of them that has to go this summer.
Yeah,
2 now,
agreed.
bro. Let's believe that.
I would actually put him at the top of the list. You know, as Lois O'Riordan, Lord rest his soul, would say, let's not let it linger. We need to show our intent, get him out the door, and then that will give us the courage to get more people out the door. Simple.
100%, bro. Back to business. Ben White. I'm sorry, bro. You know, Ben White, when you started off at centre back, I didn't think you can play at centre back. I thought he was terrible at centre back. And then he moved to right back. I love, you know, the personality. You know, he's a bit of a prick. He's never scared. You know, he's on the ball. He's good going forward. He was all right. Do you know what I'm saying? He was a good right back. But then after the injury, my bro, it's done for him. I feel like it's done. You know, every dog has his day, and I think this is your day. I think this is your day, right? So sell for me. Sell. Jez.
Yeah, I think this time is done, mate. Injuries. He's done good service, but time to go now. Move him over. Yeah, he's just too. He breaks down too often now for my like, and you can't have that if you're going to be in the top flight and challenging for more trophies. So sad to say, he's done a service, but yeah, move him on.
Fair enough. BBK.
Keep him Benny Blanco, bro.
Why?
Arteta just have to manage him properly. You know, between 2022 and 2024, you couldn't name 3 right backs in the league that was better than him.
That's facts.
If Arteta unfucked himself and stopped playing Timber so much at match week 25 when he was starting the tire before he got injured, then he had to overplay Ben White while Timber was injured, I think he would have been fine. Going into this season, not this season, but the one before, right back was one of the positions we said we are the best at between them two. The managers just have to manage the fucking players properly. Like, we going into the next season, like, rotation has to be the buzzword for Mikel this year. Because if he doesn't get his rotation right, we're not repeating. You know what I'm saying? Well, we saw the same disparity in the minutes in 2 other players that we're going to talk about in the midfield when we get there. But we clearly saw the drop-off in Timber's performance from match week 23 on. And we're like, he was giving us 8 out of 10s for the first 20 weeks. Then we see him start to taper off. Hey, we need to rotate someone in, give him. Didn't. He breaks down. Benjamin White comes in, and he wasn't ready for a 10, 15 game run. Shane was asking for rotations in match week 2 for guys to be starting to rotate. But the thing is, if we end up selling all the players and don't replace them, then we give Michaela out next year, because then there will be no players for him to rotate. You know what I'm saying? So I'm keeping Benny Blanco. I love his shithousery.
Listen, BBK, I'm sorry, but again, you know, I'll give my verdict on Ben White soon. But again, that just goes back to the whole issue of Arteta's management of players. Let's not forget that when Jurrien Timber joined us, you know, the reason why he suffered that horrific knee injury not too long after joining us was because Arteta had the audacity to play him at left back. And I'm at least glad for now that at least, you know, in some respects, he's given up this ridiculous fetish of playing right-footed players in that left back so that they can invert and provide control in the midfield. But defensively, they're not all that. Timber is either a right back at club level or a right centre back for the Dutch national team. And he'll be playing in that position with Denzel Dumfries in the right back position. And now Dumfries is going to go to Real Madrid to play under Mourinho. Good luck to him. But I just don't trust Arteta to be able to manage the players properly. And in as much as, you know, we can say that, you know, players have dropped off because, you know, it's all injury induced. Again, the fish rots from the head down, and Arteta has to take his share of the blame. So I actually want Benny to go, and I'll give my reasons later. But it's also because the sooner certain players get away from Arteta and end up playing for clubs where the managers are not so, arse backwards in their training methodology, the better. But I wouldn't trust Arteta to manage certain players. But necessity dictates that we have to sell before we can buy. So we should be able to. We'll probably end up taking a loss on Benny, but we should be able to get another decent right back to come in and provide competition for Yuri and Timber, who I think will stay. But I wouldn't want to keep Ben White, and I'll outline my reasons later. But I just want to come at you when you said Arteta's going to manage. I think he will, and I don't think Arteta's the type of person who will evolve from his method, because he's not won the league. He feels justified.
Well, if he's not going to rotate his players properly, then it doesn't matter who the fuck we buy or sell, because they're going to come in and get injured as well. He must learn. It took him 35 match week to admit that he treated or got the Myers Lewis Skelly shit wrong. When have we ever seen this man admit that he fucked up? Never. You know what I'm saying? It's incumbent upon the media, the fans, and everyone to hold him accountable for his rotation plans, because that's what's going to keep us from winning the Premier League title again next year. Because now, even without the pay raise, he is now the Premier League's highest paid manager, longest tenured, with all this shuffling going around in the Big Six. Can't sell everybody. Manage the damn players that you have. It's not like your Pep where you can, oh shit, I signed Savinho, it's not working, let me go get Semenyo. No, coach the damn players that you have and manage them properly. Some responsibility has to be put on his feet. And if we can't do it, Bertha, someone is going to have to hold him accountable. You must rotate your players properly. And it's not just Timber, it's the entire squad. We can't have Declan Rice play another 60 games next year, or he's going to end up like a Timber or a Benjamin White.
100%, man. It's a 50-50 in the chat. Everybody's saying, some people are saying sell, some people are saying keep. PT Goon is saying facts, money for White's career's sake, we should sell him. Johan is saying keep is a shout, for real, because keep in mind, who will we swap him for? There's always a play out there, Johan, but I get you. But also Timber and White are injury prone. I hear that, bro. I hear that. Johan is saying BBK is 100% speaking facts. He didn't really admit he had a sarcastic tone in the 100%. Jam,
I was going to say it was tongue in cheek when he said that. I think
he was. Yeah. He was being cheeky. But we know that he made a mistake. I think a lot of people realize that he made a mistake, and hopefully next season Skelly or someone better will be in that number 8. But that's a convo for another day. Jam, what's your thoughts?
I can understand where people are coming from. Ben White's a tricky one, because I actually like Ben White. The problem we've got is if we keep him, and he is injury prone, by the way, because of lack of rotation, etc. If we keep him and next season he comes in for Timber, if he's out again, and Ben White comes in and he picks up another injury, which is likely because he can't play more than four or 5 games, you're going to end up with a scenario of Declan Rice or Zubimendi going and playing right back. Now, I don't want to see that. The problem is I think that Ben White's injuries are pretty much him done. I don't see him getting back to full fitness and being able to play. As a player, if he didn't have injuries, it wasn't injury prone, I'd be saying keep all day long. I just think that with the age that he is, he's not old, but at the age he is with the injuries, I think we should probably try and cash in on him and get in another right back that hasn't had major injuries, and then see where we go from there. Because if the new player that comes in that hasn't had injuries starts picking them up, we'll know why, and it will just be more and more pointing fingers at Arteta. So I would sell him, regrettably. I actually like him. If he stayed, I wouldn't be too bothered. But like I said, I don't want the scenario of Timber being out, Ben White being crooked, and any of the other midfielders having to play at right back. Just if you move him on and get another right back in, and have Timber as your main right back, and it could be beneficial to him, to Ben White and Arsenal, for him to move on. That's where I'm at. But like I said, I like Ben White. I just think it's that time now.
Fair enough. Rob.
Yeah, I would sell if we could get a decent price. I kind of like take the point of what you guys are saying though about but like historically, he has been good for us. Like his moxie, like a lot about him. But it's like what Tyron was saying. It's kind of like, is it too late now for him to be rotated properly? Is there there's another big injury coming? If we could get a decent amount for him, there's a guy Ryerson at Dortmund who's quite a solid right back. Very, very good in the air, good from set pieces. I mean, can cross the ball really well as well. If you could get him in for like sort of 25 or so, that wouldn't be too bad if we got a decent amount of money from Ben White. But I don't know how much money we could get for Ben White just because of the injury record. So I'm kind of on the fence. I guess I would. The other caveat is how injured is Timber going to be next season? We don't really know what kind of Timber we're getting back. So the right back position is actually quite tricky when you think about it, isn't it? I think if we can get a good price for him, my answer is sell.
Fair enough. What's a good price?
Hey, damn it. That's a good question. I should have thought of that, shouldn't I?
15, 20.
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. What did you actually sign him for? About 30?
50 million.
50.
Money wasted.
Right.
What, you think he's cheap? You think he came in cheap? He did his job, but
I just completely forgot it was 50 million. You just went out of my head, to be honest with you. Yeah, sort of like if we could get like 20 for him, I think that would be all right. And then say Ryerson, for example, could be 25, 30. I think Dortmund were kind of open to selling for around that. So that could be something we could do for me.
Fair enough. Manny.
Yeah, I'm actually one of a small minority of Arsenal fans who are not too enamored with the chap we call Benny Blanco. There are just things about his general attitude that I don't really like. And of course, we found out in when they were celebrating the title at Selhurst Park, that idiot actually tried to pull down Piero Hincapié's shorts when the Ecuadorian was lifting the trophy. And even during the parade on the bus, the idiot was actually shouting, "Hincapié, get your backside out," or something like that. And, there's being a cheeky chappy and there's being an absolute, knob, for want of a nicer word. And really, I think I just can't stand the bloke at times. And Kenny Can and I also have a similar view with regard to his walking out on the England squad and not wanting to come back while Southgate was boss and then being recalled. And, he didn't do himself any favours in that game against Uruguay when he conceded that penalty, and it was rightly given. And he never should have been brought back under any circumstances. I mean, I love Arsenal Football Club, but like Kenny, I'm an England fan first and foremost, and I love international football. I just don't think that when you take a look at Ben White, he really has the right attitude of wanting to, really improve himself and become a footballer and have that much respect for the club and respect for the legends who, graced the jerseys before him. He certainly didn't know who one of our biggest legends was, who wore the same number 4 jersey that he was given. And that number 4 jersey should have gone to William Saliba, by the way, but that's another story. I just think as well, the man's a little bit too injury prone for our liking. And his conversion to right back is really a case of serendipity. Good things happen by accident. But is he really that good? You put him up against any pacey left winger, like someone like a Kvaratskhelia, and he'll cook Ben like an egg white frittata. I'm not joking. We saw in the Champions League final when after Mosquera made that mistake, Arteta, out of desperation, threw a 60% fit Timber on after 60 minutes to try to see out that half hour. And Timber was also getting completely roasted by Kvaratskhelia. So I just think that in terms of ability, and it is injury induced, but also even as a player, he's not really at the level. And I take people's point when they say that we may struggle to find a good replacement, but we also have to show some intent by saying that, we have to move on from certain players and try and get someone of a level. And I do like Rob's shout of that chap from Dortmund, Ryerson. Someone like a Michael Coyote over at Brentford would be a really good shout, except there's a part of me that thinks that maybe Brentford might jack up his valuation, given that he's only played 2 seasons at the club and they consider him a really exciting youth prospect. We need to make sure that we really bolster the squad, and Coyote is also quite young. So as you said, Rash, there are always going to be options. As wise people say, there are plenty of fish in the sea, unless, of course, you're a vegetarian and you can't eat fish, but that's another story. So, listen, let's sell Ben White. I mean, I can accept that he did some good things for us, but I never warmed to the fella. And the sooner he goes for his own sake and for our sake too, the better.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Nats.
Yeah, for me, Ben White's time is done.
Should we send him Love Island? Should we send him Love Island? Yeah.
Send him Love
The
Island,
new season's
send
gonna
him
start.
Celebrity Big Brother, all of them places. You know, what is it? I'm a Celebrity. I know it's finished recently, like a couple of months ago or whatever. Like I don't watch that shit, but still, like that's where he belongs, in it. You know, he was never into football. Didn't know shit about football. Still doesn't. And I'm cool with the shithousery, but if you're getting that much money and you don't care at all and you show it, at least you're honest. But at the same time, it's just like, I can never rate that. I can never rate that. Yes, when Arteta converted him to right back, cool, it worked. You know, Arteta stumbled upon that thing. You know, it is what it is. But for me, yes, we bought him for 50 mil, but 25, 30 mil at most. Like, I'm looking at it like this. We could get a right back for the same price and definitely cheaper. That's, you know, in some ways better, but just he's more reliable and someone that can actually also keep Timber on his toes when he's back fit as well. He won't be as good as him, nowhere near. But I'll throw a name out there. I was thinking more. Does Tariq Lamptey still play for Does he still play for Brighton?
No.
Yeah, I think so. No, where did he go?
No, I think he left, didn't he?
When did he leave?
I think he I don't know if he went out on loan or left.
Isn't he too short though? Isn't he too short though, Nats?
Nah. Like, if it was centre back, 100%. Right back's different. Full back's different. And in this day and age, the height doesn't really matter. It can help, but to be honest, it's better if you're shorter than if you're taller. Like, remember Thomas Meunier at PSG?
Yeah, I remember him.
The Belgian, like he was actually a good player, but again, like the size helped him in a lot of ways. But playing in that position, it kind of hindered him as well. He would have been better when, you know, football was being played like 15, 20, 25 years ago. Do you know what I'm saying? But for me,
Nasta, I'll just cut in and Nasta, I'll just cut in and talk about Tariq Lamptey. He actually moved to Fiorentina to play with David De Gea and others, and he's just ended his stint there. I think he only made 2 appearances. I think injuries have not been his friend. So again, you know, it's also going to be an issue of whether or not it's worth replacing one injury-prone defender with another. But prior to those injuries, I agree with you. I like Tariq Lamptey.
Good player.
He's a short fella, 5'4", very fast down the wing. But obviously, you know, he's got to focus on getting his career back on track with the injuries and everything. He's 25, so he's not too. He's definitely not too old. But I think he's got to try to, you know, rebuild his career more than anything else. And born in Hillingdon, where my sister was born. I love it.
He will get minutes. But my thing is, because Tariq Lamptey, you know, in a way as well, I wouldn't say more so than the Rice situation, but similar when it comes to right back. It's just like, it's not a priority signing. That being said, a Tariq Lamptey as an example, even now, like the less games he plays, the better it will be for him in terms of like, he's had his injuries and all of that, but you know, he can slot in there. Do you know what I'm saying? You know, and we can give Timber a rest, especially in Premier League games, League Cup and FA Cup later down the road next year. Like, he's a solid option, and what would have cost 30, 40, maybe 50 mil, similar price to what we bought Ben White, he wouldn't even cost half that, and we wouldn't have to put him on ridiculous wages, especially with mafioso bad boy Andrea Berta. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think, let's say, for example, if we got Tariq Mitchell for like 15, 20 mil, I'd take it.
Yeah.
Sell Ben White, get Lamptey in there. Sorry, not Tariq Mitchell. I know, Tariq Lamptey, yeah. If we get Lamptey in there for 15, 20 mil, even with his injuries, knowing he's not going to play every single game, I think it's worth it, bro. because he's got all the attributes. Yeah, he's really short. He's not too far away from being a midget.
What about the corners, the set pieces?
Oh,
what are we going to do with the
55
set pieces then?
We'll have to
He'll
put him
just
across
hang
the
on the
box.
edge of the box. Yeah. Edge of the box team. Edge of the box team. He won't be like right up against the wall in the club. Do you know what I'm saying? Where you just
Low
like,
corners.
doing the creepy shit. Do you know what I mean? But like, you know, he'll make his impact. Do you know what I'm saying? And he'll link up play. You know, not as quick as he used to be, but you know, for someone that short, you know, he's very nimble, very agile. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and he's got good fundamentals. And for 15 odd mil, give or take, even with the injuries he's had in the past and not played much recently, I think for me it's definitely worth it. And we bought from Brighton before 2 times. So, and obviously we'll get onto the other one later. But yeah, I just don't see why we can't sell Ben White for 30 odd mil and get Lamptey in for half the price, pretty much. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then it gives us more money to strengthen elsewhere and other positions, which are more priority and even number 1 priority in my eyes, which we will get onto later.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Next we go to Timber. Keep people, keep. But Timber is very injury prone. Yeah. I love Timber since the first day I saw him play, since the Community Shield game. I knew straight away this guy's a baller. Hey, this guy's a baller, bro. I mean, he's a hit. He's one of Arteta's hits, so you got to rate. I got to rate him for that. Timber, keep, man, 100%. Jez.
Absolutely. Let's put one fact in here. His first game, he went down injured, and the manager came back on, and that was his season done.
Nottingham Forest, yeah. 2-1 win.
Wasn't his fault.
He was a left back.
And he suffered as a consequence after doing his ACL. So once you do that, you're always going to have a scar. So I'd keep him all day long. I think he's a quality player, but you can't blame the injuries on him. You have to blame that on the manager. There's nobody else you can blame for that, because he put him back out when he should have actually said, no, you ain't coming back on. We need to get you checked out. We're going to send you for a scan and get this sorted out, see what's going down. So I'm not, you can't blame the kid for that. Great player, quality, I'd keep all day long.
100%, man. 100%. BBK.
Yeah, man. You could have left this one out. He's my favorite player. He's a bulldog, bro. Like that. Yeah. I tell people all the time, just don't tell me about the best. You can keep the rest. There's no Premier League right back that I'm taking over this guy. Did you see the difference in the levels when he came on in the Champions League final? When he gets on the ball, you're not getting by him easily, and he's a bulldog, bro.
He wasn't even 100%. He was barely 50.
Trying to tell you that's what we were missing. But that guy, yeah, man. That was a steal in the market, because I don't even think we played north of 40 for him. And yeah,
how much did we pay? How much did we pay again?
40. I think it was 30 something. But right now, if you're talking about right backs, only Hakimi can really chat to him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah, he's a keep, bro. 100,000%.
100%, man. Jam.
Yep, 100% keep. I think he's brilliant. If he had stayed fit all season or played all season, he would have been my player of the season. I think the thing with Timber is it's not all the time that he's still performing whilst being injury prone, if that makes sense. He stays. The only time that I would say in this conversation to sell or keep or bench or whatever is if his performances start going downhill because of the injuries. Otherwise, keep him all day long. Easy, yes, keep.
Facts. Injuries haven't affected him when you think about it. And every time he comes back, he's cold.
He's brilliant. He very rarely does he have a bad game. Very rare.
Facts. Jam. Rob.
Yeah, man. Keep all day. I mean, he's just like one of my favorite players as well. Like, excellent awareness, concentration, reading of the game, powerful. Just can't get past him. What more can you say? Like, yeah, it's just a shame he couldn't have been properly fit to start the Champions League final, because maybe something would have been different. But yeah, just absolutely one of my favorite right backs to ever play for us. Just fantastic. Hopefully, let's see how he is going into the season. Hopefully he can actually stay fit. That's obviously the only worry. But yeah, what fantastic player. What more can you say?
100%, man. Manny, not even a question, yeah? Not even a
No question. Keep all day long, and if he does break down, we all know who's going to be blamed. But he's another player who needs competition. That's why I say we've got to get rid of Benny Blanco ASAP. But I echo everything that people are saying about Timber. Absolute class, absolute quality. I pinch myself at times to think that he's with us, and I only hope and I just lament the fact that we have a manager who just doesn't seem to care about his players' welfare. Keep all day long, no questions asked.
Fair enough. Nats.
This is the easiest keep that I'm going to have in this team, period. Even at 75%, he's world class. Do you know what I'm saying? Because the brother can defend, but he can also attack, and he's got technical ability. What more do you want in a right back other than, not being injured as much? But again, that's more down to this manager doing Lego head things back then. Obviously, now it's a little bit different. For now, he's definitely not off the hook with me. But yeah, Timber, as long as we get a suitable replacement for Benny Blanco, Tariq Lamptey is my number one choice. I know there are others. 5 years ago I would have said Max Aarons, but Max Aarons has fallen off a cliff, which is a shame, but it is what it is. But Lamptey for me is backup. So then Timber doesn't play. For me, him and other players that we'll mention later, I don't want to see them playing 90 plus minutes, at the start of the season. The first couple of months, especially with Timber, I want him rested, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Or he gets an hour, play one half. Do you know what I'm saying?
Eased in. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? This manager has to rotate, and Timber is probably number one when it comes to rotation, which is why I mentioned before, get Lamptey in or get a right back of similar quality that can slot in there, no problem. And it's almost like we don't miss him as much. Do you know what I'm saying? Especially on the defensive side, but even going forward as well, to a degree. There's nothing really much more I can say on that. So yeah, Timber, definite keep. World class. To be honest, I think there's an argument to say he's the best right back on the planet. Because let's be real, with Hakimi, as great as he is going forward, if it wasn't for his pace, it would be clear for everyone to see that Timber's better than him defensively. But because Hakimi's got that pace, he's taller, he's stronger, he's obviously quicker, a hell of a lot quicker. Like that's where other people, they can have their views and all that. But for me, world class for damn sure when he's at 75%, and that's frightening. Imagine if this manager rotated him last season or this season just gone either way. So yeah, very easy decision.
100%, man. 100%. Now we move on to Mosquera, solid player, yeah, solid player. But as most of defenders that have pace make mistakes, you know what I'm saying? But they rectify it quickly. So I'm gonna let him off the hook. I'm not gonna blame him for the Champions League one, because at some point Kvaratskhelia is gonna beat you. Maybe you should have let him go, but that's that. I don't want to get into that one. But overall, bro, solid, bro. Every time he plays, he does his job, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I rate him, bro. I rate Mosquera. And I'd have a conversation with him like, listen, man, I'm gonna keep you, but your bench. So, do you know what I'm saying? It's when the players, this is a second fiddle we're talking about. You're not gonna get Van Dijk and put him as a second fiddle. It's not happening. Mosquera is the best you can get, in my opinion. Bench, man. Bench, 100%. Big up Mosquera, though. He's done well. Jez?
I'd keep. He's young. He's got a lot to learn. A little bit rash at times, but he's quality. He can improve under the right management. Whether he'll get that from Arteta, well, we'll see, won't we? But, yeah, I think he's quality, mate. Would I bench him? Yeah, but he needs game time. He needs to improve. So it's a tricky one, but yeah, I'll definitely keep him in the squad. There's no question about that.
Fair enough. BBK?
Yeah. As far as the game time goes, that just alluded to, like, this is again rotation. the buzzword going into the next season because Saliba and Gabriel can't play 62 games. And here is this guy that's he has proven that he's good enough to play at this level. He was the starting right back out of position against one of Europe's best attacks. Outside of Bayern Munich.
And he played well, BBK, innit? Like, he played well.
He played well, and he's 21 years old. You know what I mean? There are players, young players, who looked at Arsenal like that Aiden Heaven, that looked at our center backs and thought, oh shit, I'm not playing here. I'm going to go elsewhere because he fancied himself to beat out Maguire and that shit. But when you're playing behind Saliba and Gabriel, your minutes will be limited, and he is good enough, versatile enough to go out wide and play right back at 21 years old in a Champions League final. Yeah, he's a keep. I've seen flashes of brilliance for him. I think he did well when Saliba hurt his ankle at Anfield. I think he did a good account of himself throwing in the match code. So yes, yeah, he is a quality squad depth, right? And there is a drop off between him and Timber, and there is a drop off between him and our starting center backs. But there's always will be. You're not going to have 22 starting quality level players. You know, and he fits the mold for what a deputy can come in and do for a short period of time. So yeah, keep and bench.
100%, man. 100%. I don't think anybody in the chat is everybody's saying keep. Apparently, some people are saying he's pushing for a loan. Black is saying he's pushing for a loan for playtime. Doesn't surprise me. Everton, Napoli, he's a good backup. He's a good backup centre back. Did a job at right back. Yeah, 100%. I think Arteta needs to have a conversation with him. Like, listen, you stay here. If you're better, you play. Simple as. May the best man win. Jam, what do you think of this one?
Yeah, I agree with what's been said. I'll definitely keep him. He would be he's a very good squad player. He wouldn't be starting, but he'd definitely be on the bench. I think within time, because Gabriel was getting on, within a couple of 2 or 3 years, maybe. I think that if he can erase the rashness out of his game, and the poor decision making, if you like, with the final, with diving in there where he did, up until that moment, I thought he was outstanding. But overall, I thought he had a good game. Yeah, how many backup centre backs or somebody that can go in at right back are you going to get better than him? Like, I mean, he's very young as well. He's got pace. 100%, I'm keeping him, and he would be on the bench, definitely.
Thing is, John, the point you made there about the rashness. Let's not forget 2 seasons ago, Gabriel was doing that.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I meant. I've said that the other day to someone. Gabriel was really bad. I wanted him gone at one point, but he's got that out of his game. So that's what I'm saying with Mosquera. Hopefully he'll get that out of his game, and then he'll be the one that then goes in and replaces Gabriel as Gabriel gets older and moves on. I can see that. I can see it. So keep him 100%.
Fair. Rob.
Yeah, bench for me, man. I mean, like, look, if we keep Timber and White, we know they can be injury prone. I don't think the idea that someone in the chat there, big up, mentioned about loaning him, I don't think that's a good idea. Because then I think we need to get someone else that can maybe.
Exactly.
It just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, you know, he's coming for 12 million, I think, wasn't it, from Valencia?
Yeah.
And,
cheap,
you know,
innit? He's cheap.
Absolute steal. And, you know, he's come from La Liga, a less physical league, you know, and he was playing centre-back, I think, mostly for Valencia. So he's done an excellent job. I mean, he needs to work a bit. He needs to be taught a little bit, like we're implying about the rashness. Also, for me, the awareness. Sometimes he lacks a bit of awareness. But I'm not sure if he's playing in his... I'm not sure if he favours... I've not seen anything that he said, whether he favours playing right back or centre-back. So,
I think for him, he just wants to play, though, Rob.
Oh, yeah,
team like Arsenal, I don't think he can get better than Arsenal. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think he's just 100%. Like, play me, I'm there.
Needs a bit more coaching and that kind of stuff. But of course that can come in. Like, Gabriel's the perfect example of that. We used to have Gabriel running up to the halfway line and clattering people, but we got that out of his game. So I'm sure we can, you know, if one thing Arteta and his coaching staff, Heinzer and everyone really do excel at, is bringing on defensive players. So I actually do have confidence that this guy's just going to get better and better. And that 12 million in a couple of years is going to look absolutely ridiculous.
Facts, 100%, man. Manny.
Keep and bench. Again, no questions asked. And I actually would go so far to say that he needs to make sure that he stays. He gets more opportunities to play in the centre because that is the position where he feels comfortable. You know, we have this sort of an issue of valuing utility players a great deal, saying they can do a job elsewhere. And that is, you know, pretty much how Ben White ironically ended up becoming a right back when centre back was his position when he played at Brighton, ironically. The problem is, I always fear that as big as the temptation is to try to, you know, unlock some new talent or new potential in players, you sometimes end up running the risk of having them forget what they already know. And there are limits to having centre halves play in the full-back positions. And of course, if I never see a game where, you know, the back four again, it will be too soon, because as good as they can be, as good a job as they can be defensively, they do have their limitations, and Mosquera proved that. Now, Mosquera is actually right-footed. So he, if anything, would probably be more of the backup for Saliba, who is also right-footed, unlike Gabriel, who is, you know, left-footed. But if Mosquera were to be given a little bit more confidence that he can come in and do a job and, you know, have proper and be used as the proper rotation sub for both of our centre-backs, either one maybe, then he can actually develop more into that position. I don't want to have to see situations where he's forced to come in at right-back because our right-backs are too injury-prone. You know, you take a look at Aston Villa, where Ezri Konsa was shunted into the right-back position on more than a few occasions, and he didn't do a half a bad job. And he is, of course, in the World Cup squad as a utility option, someone who can play in the centre and on the right as a potential replacement for Reece James. But I don't like this idea of utility defenders being shunted so far from the centre to the flank and vice versa. It rarely, if ever, really works. Keep him, bench him, let him learn from, you know, the best centre-back partnership in the league. Let him come on and, you know, do a job. And if, heaven forbid, we're in a situation where either one of Saliba or Gabriel will have to be replaced, preferably Saliba, because, you know, Mosquera may not be comfortable on the opposite side, then Mosquera can then come in and do a job. Preferably, I don't want to see him coming on the right flank again. And this isn't to throw him under the bus for the Champions League final. I just want to make sure that, you know, you find where that player is better suited, you develop him in that position where he's comfortable, and then make sure he, you know, really, really blossoms. I don't want jacks of all trades and masters of none. You've got to be a proper specialist at what you do. I mean, you do have talent to be able.
wings.
Thank you very much indeed, Jamboy. If you do have the ability to play well in another position, then, you know, you can be used only as a last resort. But if you're a specialist in one position, and that is your best position, that is where you stay. No ifs, no buts, no whats.
100%, man, 100%. Nats.
Yeah, for me, I'll keep him, and he'll be on the bench as well, because, you know, Gabriel and Saliba, there's no shift in them two. You know, that's standard. Even after what happened in the Champions League final, like, and he was playing, you know, a position that he's nowhere near as comfortable with compared to centre back, because you guys will all remember, yeah, when Saliba broke down against Liverpool, he shouldn't have even started that game. Mosquera next to Gabriel, he was my man of the match at the time. Yeah, we lost 1-0, but again,
Yeah.
you know, Zubimendi gave away that foul. It wasn't Mosquera. Mosquera was actually in the right position. So, yes, he's young. Yes, there's still a lot for him to learn. Yes, he'll improve. But at the same time, it's just like, now that he's a winner, he's a Premier League winner, Champions League finalist, you know, we need to do better in the Cups, League and FA Cup. But I don't see if we can get a better... I don't see us getting a better centre-back as backup who can even technically do a job if the injuries are that bad at right-back. But I want to see him at centre-back next season. I want to see him at centre-back because we saw glimpses of it last season. When it comes to this season, I want to see him more at centre-back, especially in the cup games. Maybe the odd Premier League game, we give Saliba a rest, Gabriel a rest, you know, to start with in certain games. Obviously, the big games, them two will play regardless unless they're injured. But yeah, I just don't see us really needing to sell or should sell Mosquera to get a better backup. For me, I think at least for the time being, his place on the bench is cemented in this squad, and he'll improve along with being a Premier League winner, potentially a Champions League winner in 3 years. So I'm excited. Be excited, man. Do you know what I'm saying? Be excited, guys. It's one of them ones, people. Do you know what I mean?
100%, man. Facts, 100%. Arsenal letters came straight away. He's like, fuck talking about the other players. Let's sell Odegaard. Let's just sell Odegaard. Big up Arsenal letters, man. Big up, man. Saliba, bro. Rolls Royce. My favorite player. You know he's my... Listen. He's the best defender in the world. He's the best defender in the world. Ball playing defender. Sometimes he passes the ball better than Odegaard. Everything goes forward with him. Do you know what I'm saying? He can progress with the ball. Strong. The only weakness I could say, maybe in the air. Sometimes, do you know what I'm saying? He mistimes it. And he's over cocky. But I kind of like that. Do you know what I'm saying? I kind of like that he's over cocky because he really disrespects forwards, bro. He really disrespects them, bro. Takes the ball off them, dribble past, then makes a pass. You know what I'm saying? And everything goes forward with him. Very progressive. I feel like if he goes to Barcelona, it would be the best choice for him because he's that type of defender that can play football and defend. Big up to him, man. World class. Jez.
Nah, you got to sell him, mate.
I knew someone was going to do that.
You're being sarcastic, sir. I know that. You're being sarcastic.
He's absolute quality, mate. You know, when he came back from that period of loan, he was a different player. I mean, we didn't see a lot of him before he went, but yeah, he's absolutely world class in my opinion. Fantastic footballer. He's blossomed, absolutely blossomed, and yeah, he's got that foresight of he reads the game so well now, and yeah, he's a definite keeper for me, mate. Absolutely. I mean, I would love to know how much he's worth now. It's going to be a lot of money. If a big,
I think 100 mil. I think him and Van Dijk are at 100. Yeah,
I wouldn't be at all surprised. That's what I, you know, if a team like Madrid or Barcelona came in, I'd be saying, nah, not even thinking about 100 mil, mate. We want 140. That's the asking price. If you want that, if you want him for that money, you can have him. But that ain't going to happen. But at the end of the day, absolute legend. Absolute. He will go. In my honest opinion, he will go down in the annals of history at Arsenal as one of the best centre backs. He'll be up there with the big boys.
And you've seen a lot of centre backs, Jez.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. Yeah, I mean, 10, 15 years time, I wouldn't be at all surprised if we sat here, or maybe you boys will be, talking about he's up there, the likes of Bold, Adams, O'Leary, all that lot. Peter Simpson, all Frank McClintock, all that, because I think this guy is absolute class. Absolute class. So I'd still sell him.
Facts, man. Big up Godfrey, bro. Welcome, my friend. PT Goon is saying Saliba's worth 100 mil. I wouldn't take anything less than 200.
Yep.
I wouldn't sell him for any money.
100%, man. BBK, what's your thoughts, man?
Man, he is the real deal, isn't it? This guy. You know, some guys you watch them play. I remember I seen this kid play it was a preseason game against MK Dons, and I'm watching this kid. I'm like, oh my God, who is this? Yeah. And then we loaned them out and went into the season with Rob Holding.
I was like, what the?
Remember that shit?
Yeah.
You know? But he is the real deal, bro. And Jez is spot on when he said he reads the game so well. That's why he looks so calm on the ball. Because he always, the best players slow the game down and play at a different pace where they're a step ahead of you. That's why he looks so calm and Gabriel looks so rash. and he is 25 years old, bro. 25 to 28 is the prime. You know, those are the prime years for a top center back, and he's going into his prime as a Premier League champion. He is the real deal, bro. I don't think he's ever had a bad season for us.
Yeah,
He just kept getting better and better, and I think next year he'll be even better if Mr. Boss Man gets the R word, the rotation right, and manage him properly. Because I just seen France start Upamecano and what's his name at center back and lost the damn game.
Kanate.
Yeah, that shit.
Kanate,
You know, so he's going to play heavy minutes for country as well. So
isn't he injured, BBK? I heard he's injured.
Nah, he's.
I heard Saliba's injured.
I heard him. Both coaches say that it's nonsense. It's a non-story.
Oh.
Something with his back, but I think he's good. He was just rested for that friendly. But yeah, man, best center back in world class territory is upon us with him right now. So he's the real deal, man. But yeah, that injury story is fake news.
Okay, fair enough, man.
Arteta
tax in it. Jam.
Yeah, this is easy. Definite keep. The only time, and it's the only thing I would ever sell him for is if he ever said, I want to leave. That's it. If he said to Arsenal, look, I want 400 grand a week to stay, give him it. Like, I'm doing everything I can to keep him at this football club. Yeah, like I said, the only time I will ever sell any top player that we've got is if they say, I want to leave. Because if you want to leave, sell them. I don't want any player that don't want to be here. But moving on, he's class. Best. Him and Gabriel, the best two defenders we've had in the Emirates era, easily.
Facts. Rob.
Yeah, I just want to echo something Binksy said in the chat. Saliba is so good, you really notice it when he actually makes a mistake, which is very rare. Genuine class. And just on your point, Rashid, as well, about as soon as he gets the ball, as long as he's in a bit of space, head up, forward thinking, even more than our captain who's supposed to be a number 10 doing these things anyway. He is moving the ball. He is driving us forward more. His first intention, as soon as danger is over, drive us forward. And I love that about him. So calm, confident, collected, reads everything borderline perfectly. Yes, I do get that sometimes he can let the ball bounce, maybe when he should head it, something like that. But he can usually recover himself just because he's just so good. Genuine world class for me. One of the best centre backs I've seen in my time watching Arsenal since '93. So yeah, absolutely fantastic player.
Facts, man. Facts. Manny.
Keep. Easy. I don't quite remember seeing much of David O'Leary during my time watching Arsenal. I always regret that. But I would say that he reminds me so much of just how good David O'Leary was in his prime. And for me, I'm not even bothered that he's not too good in the air, because you want to have a central defensive partnership where one person will be good in the air, the other one will be, trusted to do more of the groundwork. That was why, you had Adams and O'Leary or Bald doing well together. That's why you had Sol Campbell and Kolo Touré during the Invincible season. And now you've got Gabriel and Saliba now. Gabriel's the one who's trusted to do more of the aerial work. So you have that contrast, and that's what makes them such a brilliant defensive partnership. Keep all day long. Nobody gets to lay their hands on him unless they drop really, really, really big money for him. And even if it could very well be one of those rich leagues like the Middle Eastern League, which I actually don't think they'll be getting too many players to come over there, given what's going on in that area of the world these days. Keep. No questions.
No question. I hear that. And there's no controversial opinion. You can't tell me any, because you're Mr. Controversial.
No, get rid of him. No. Another very easy keep, world class. Rolls Royce, as you say, like your favorite player, and I hear it, bro. My thing is, what pissed me off, well, one of the many reasons why I was pissed off with this manager for so long is like he decided to keep loaning out Saliba for that fucking useless dosser, that lanky prick.
Tell him, Nats, please tell the audience who we had at that time.
We had Rob Holding I think Callum Chambers was
that never
still
held
there.
anything.
You know what I'm saying? I think maybe Socrates might have left by that time. David Luiz as well, but Rob Holding was still there, and he decided to loan out Saliba. What the fuck?
Saliba was better than Holding when he was 15.
100%, bro. 100%. We're not even bullshitting. We're not ball jiving. We're not bullshitting. We're not ball anything, bro.
Nah, just quickly, Nats. That Rob Holding went to Crystal Palace, and after Oliver Glasner saw him play one game and got rid of him. One.
Exactly. That's a proper manager, and he's Palace's greatest ever manager at this point, and probably forever will be. Do you know what I'm saying? He cost $2 million. Remember Arsene Wenger saying, "Well, I am sorry that he didn't cost 50 mil." Yeah, there's a reason why he was never going to go for 50 mil, because he's fucking dog shit, bro. Last time I checked, he was playing in League One, bro. I think he was playing for Sunderland when they were in League One. And now look where Sunderland are now. They're in Europe. He's nowhere to be seen. I'm waiting. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm waiting to hear all of the all the bullshit. Saliba is world class. Elite. I would go as far as say it as elite, bro.
Wait for it. Wait for it. Mark Gay will pull up, and then Rob Holding will get called up to the England team.
Nah. You're funny, man.
Tuchel's not that stupid.
Yeah, but on the real though, like William Saliba, bruv. Will.i.am Saliba. Do you know what I'm saying, bruv? Like, you know, he cool, calm, collected, brother. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like nothing phases him. He's basically the calm to Gabriel Storm, which we will get onto. Do you know what I'm saying? What you want in a centre-back partnership, because I grew up with Sol Campbell, Kolo Toure. Didn't see as much of Tony Adams, which is a shame. I saw him right at the end. But obviously Steve Bold before that, David O'Leary, etc., etc. You know, Frank McClintock, you're going way back. But still, like we've had some top-tier, world-class, elite-level centre-backs.
Yeah.
The rate of William Saliba's going, he's definitely arguably one of the best in this era, for damn sure, because he shits all over Marquinhos. That other guy that they got, the Patro guy, he's better than Marquinhos in my eyes, but William Saliba's still better than him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Facts.
There's no coincidence, and I don't believe in coincidences.
Best in the world? Is it safe to say?
For me,
who's the best for you? If it's not Saliba,
if it's not Saliba, I'm not. For me, I love a ball playing centre back, but when it comes to centre backs, for me personally, it's defense first, and then see my one of my favorite, arguably one of the best, greatest ever centre backs is Alessandro Nesta, bro. I wanted him at Arsenal like for so long, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? In that Invincible era, he would have been that guy to take us to the Champions League. I think Saliba is obviously levels lower than him, but the type of centre back, he is definitely quite that guy. But there are certain elements of his game, like when he allows the ball to bounce. I know he's so technical on the ball. I know he's so great. He's better than Odegaard. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't call him Nick in the Living Guard. That name's been taken. I've moved that elsewhere. Gianni will know, innit? But like, either way, for me, like, I still think Gabriel's a better centre back defensively, but in terms of all-round package, like, it's hard not to say. Do you know what I'm saying? And what he's been doing recently, I'm not gonna when we come to Gabriel, I'm not gonna take into account that penalty miss because he never should have taken it. But either way, like for me, Saliba, world class, definitely elite for me. Arguably one of the best on the planet, and there's a reason why the likes of Real Madrid, PSG, Bayern Munich, etc. want him. Like he can literally play for, he can play and start for any team on the planet, even internationally as well. Spain, you know, obviously France, he plays for France, but like Germany,
he'll play anywhere. It's safe to say. You can say it.
Play anywhere. England, he strolls in, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? England, he strolls in. As good as Mark Guehi is, Mark Guehi's nowhere near Saliba level. Nowhere near. And he's 6'4" as well. That imposing presence, but with the calm as well, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying?
Did you know he used to be a striker? He used to be a striker, apparently.
Does not surprise me. But yet
Setting
Gabriel's
in
been
it,
getting more goals. That's the irony in it. But he
Yeah.
sees himself more as like the proper ball playing centre back. I know we're going to go on to Gabriel. He's doing that shit.
Mbappe's father was the one that changed Saliba, because Saliba and Mbappe grew up on the same estate, same block.
In a hurry.
Yeah. So Mbappe's dad was the one that told, do you know what I'm saying, Saliba to change his position. Yeah.
I didn't know that, brother.
Got centre back.
Buy that man a drink.
Facts.
Fair play.
100%, man. 100%. Keep. Partner in crime. He's partner in crime, bro. Everybody. I know nobody in the chat. I actually gave, even though Saliba is my favorite, you know what I'm saying? He's my favorite player, but I gave Gabriel the player of the season just because of what he offers in those set pieces as well. Like defense, blocks, puts his life on the line. Do you know what I'm saying? Captain. Do you get me? Me and Nats, we had a conversation why we would give it to Rice and not him, just because of the language, or do you know what I'm saying? But overall, bro, even forward set pieces, how many goals did this guy get us? Like how many goals? At one point, he was more dangerous than our forwards. He was more dangerous than them, which is crazy. Do you know what I'm saying? Which is crazy. Keep all day long, Gabriel, man. Keep. Jezza.
Absolutely. He's a keeper. Got to keep him, man. Class player. Unfortunate.
Is he your captain, Jez, or are you team Rice?
Well, I've always had this thing that I like defensive players to be the captain, because they're always looking up the pitch. They can see what's going on. Some of the best captains we've ever had have been in defence. But I would not be dismissive of giving it to Rice, because I saw more out of Rice in midfield being a captain than I did of our scrub captain Odegaard. I'm not opposed to Gabriel having it, to be honest with you, because he's watching the whole pitch all the time. It's a natural progression, but he's a definite keeper for me. Absolute class, quality. Unfortunate against the penalty. I'm not going to blame him for that. It's just one of them things. He stepped up. He showed what he wanted to do, but it went wrong. We move on, and he's a keeper for me. Absolutely. Maybe next year he will be captain. I doubt it, because we know this manager likes to revert to type. So Odegaard will be the captain. I'm pretty convinced of that.
Yeah, 100%. BBK, not even a question, blood, innit?
Yeah, man. Saliba is the yin, he's the yang. And this the best center back partnership, and I think they know it. I think they know that they're the best and they complement each other so well.
Did you see the interview, BBK? Did you see the interview? They told him who tells the other what to do. Saliba was like, Gabriel, because he's older. And then he was like, sometimes when he's going wrong, I'm the one that jumps in and, you know what I'm saying, and says, yeah. That's what they said, basically.
Big up Gabby, man. He has some big moments for us this season. Newcastle, that Newcastle late goal, that was an iconic moment in the season, because we draw that game. That could have been some ripple effects if we didn't win that game of football. But big up to Gabby, man. He's a must keep, and I'm glad that we have him locked down on a contract until 2029. So for another 2 years, we don't have to worry about him going anywhere. Yeah, absolute keep. Should be unanimous.
You're not worried about the passes, BBK, because sometimes he's shaky.
But you know what? Like Nat said, you will take that trade-off for how good he is in breaking up attacks. Because I think it was against Atletico, Saliba did that casual suicidal header back to their player, and it was him putting his body on the line. There's always going to be that Saliba who's calm on the ball, and there's going to be Gabriel. But on the ball, he is average, and I think that's why people are reluctant to put him in the world-class category. But we must remind people that being a center back is a defensive position, and what you do on the ball sometimes differs in comparison to what you do off the ball when you're under the attack. You know what I'm saying? And he is the best at blocking shots, anchoring the defense, Yeah, man. And when you are a part of or the leader of the best defense for 3 years running, that's not an accident. 1 year, 2 year, but 3 and going on 4, and anyone next year can bank on us having the most clean sheets and the least amount of goals conceded. And he is a big part of that, if not the biggest part of it. So big up Gabby every time, man. I think I worry about the passes, but I think there's enough around him to make up for that shortcoming.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts. Jam.
Yeah, definite keep. Again, like Taran said, the yin and the yang. It's definitely noticeable when either or one or the other doesn't play, the other one don't look as good without them. So, like, they as a partnership, like I'm confident when we go into games in terms of defence when they're playing. The only based on the what Jez was saying about the captaincy role, I get what he's saying about the defender being the captain, and I could agree with that to a certain extent. The only problem I have with Gabriel in terms of the captaincy is things like what happened with City with the headbutt thing with Haaland.
He's a bit of a hothead.
Yeah, I mean, if giving him the captaincy meant that would stop, that would iron out that sort of stuff in the game, I would say, yeah, give it to him. I personally would like to see Rice as captain. I'm in the Rice camp, but yeah, Gabriel's one of the. Do you know what? Right, I've never had a player at Arsenal where I've disliked them so much and then loved them a while after because they've just turned it round as much as Gabriel. Gabriel, I wasn't a fan of his at the start. I didn't really rate him. I thought he was clumsy, giving away penalties, getting sent off. And fair play to him for how he's turned his game around and anyone involved with getting him to turn it round. They deserve credit for it and credit to him. I think he's an asset to Arsenal, and yeah, I don't want him to go nowhere.
I'm glad he sent the shit out of Haaland. Remember, Haaland was the same fucker that threw a ball at his head. You know,
there's petulance, isn't it?
Yeah. So Haaland gets away with it, and we lost the fucking game anyway. So I'm glad that he let Haaland know, like, motherfucker, don't ever do that type of shit.
Yeah, but if he had got sent off for that push on the head, though, we might be having different conversations now, not being league champions. So,
but I'm saying
I think Haaland's more smart about it.
We lost that game anyway, is what I'm saying. We didn't win that game.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Of course, yeah, we didn't. No, yeah, you're right.
Fair enough. Rob.
Listen, man.
No, but we wouldn't have had him for 3 matches after that.
Exactly. Well said, Jamboy.
That could have been what the problem would have been.
We got mascara. We're good.
Rob.
Yeah, man. For me, my favorite player should be captain for me. I take the point about the rashness in terms of the Haaland incident, but just someone have a word with him about that, and maybe giving him the armband would, getting to think a bit more. I'm glad for him for his rise through Arsenal, because when he first came in, I was in conversations with people who were taking the piss out of him. I was actually standing up for him, sticking up for him, and I'm really glad that he got through all that and managed to get to the level where he is now. For me, he's a better pure defender than Saliba. I mean, Saliba's got other attributes that obviously people see in him with his ball playing ability and what we talked about before. But for me, as a pure defender, Gabriel, absolutely fantastic. The whole penalty thing. Look, I mean, for me, that's to do with management of the order of the penalties. If he wants to take a penalty, make him take it a bit earlier, not as the last one. I just don't think a central defender takes the last penalty. But anyway, that's another conversation. That's not on him as such. So yeah, I mean, he's got what 2029. Did you say his contract expires? So yeah, we're cushy with him. Very happy with him. What more can you say? I love the idea of a captain being able to see up the pitch as well. I've always, throughout my Arsenal sporting life, wanted the captain to be a centre back. I've never liked the idea of anyone else. I hated a striker being it. I didn't really like the goalkeeper being it. It just wasn't quite. He was a bit too far back. I think for me, him, it's just what else can I say? Yeah, love the guy. Favorite player, my captain.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Bostak, we're going through all the players, bro. Eros, the boss, big up to you, man. Big up. Manny.
Rashid, you, Jamboy, and quite a few members of the panel will remember on one of our final shows that I basically made it clear I didn't like Gabriel or his attitude. Jamboy said it. He's a bit of a hothead at times, and there are some other things he does which are just, plain classless for me personally. And, here's the thing. We should have made sure that we prepared properly for penalties in the likelihood that our better penalty takers would have been subbed off. Everyone should have had to practice their penalties, including Gabriel, including Madueke, including Zubamendi. And, everyone has to share the blame. I don't want to talk about that. And Jamboy hit the nail on the head. That stunt he pulled at the Etihad, if Haaland had fallen to the ground, it would have cost us, as he would have been out for 3 games. And, how that would have affected the makeup of our defense, we probably would have had to play, cheeky Hinchapi and Ricky Ricardo on the left side. Thankfully, Mars Lewis Skelly wouldn't have had to come back. But then there are some moments even now where he just can't seem to tone it in.
But sorry, look at Pepe, look at Ramos, absolute legends. They were hotheads, especially Pepe.
Yeah, yes, but take a look at their trophy hauls and the sides for which they played. And there were also moments when, Pepe and Ramos were playing under Mourinho during the Mourinho era where I absolutely didn't like them. And let's make something crystal clear. Any coach who has the temerity to poke a fellow professional in the eye doesn't deserve any respect whatsoever. And now he's gone back to Real Madrid because Perez wants him. Good luck with that. All I will say is, buena suerte, Senor Riquelme. I hope you win the election. But, even if you can perhaps excuse an occasional display of, hot-headedness, you don't want it to be a recurring theme. And that is another reason why I can't have this chap as my captain in any way, because the way he conducts himself, it's just, it can be a little bit, off-putting on many occasions. And hopefully, if there's one good thing that can come out of that penalty miss, like every single, disappointment will spur you on to success in the future. But it also needs to be a reminder to you that you need to stay humble or life will humble you. And hopefully Gabriel will learn from that. But as far as his ability is concerned, keep him. He's one half of the best, defensive centre-back duo in the league. There's no reason to sell him. But there's a reason why I say right now that I am happy that Rice has usurped him in the captaincy pecking order. I definitely don't want to see Saka near the captaincy. Declan Rice should be our captain, and we're going to come to that. Come to why later on. But just keep Gabriel and tell him, you know what? Yes, you can be passionate. Yes, you can, be a little bit hard, but channel that into your play, and don't simply pick fights with people and try to, get into these spats all the time. Otherwise, people are going to, come back at you. Channel that. I mean, Jez can answer this question. Tony Adams was every inch a hard man, but would you see Tony Adams indulging in some of the antics that Gabriel has done? Has he ever done that?
Sometimes.
No.
He did sometimes.
Not really. The thing was with Tony Adams in his early days, he was a little bit rash, but he very soon learned under Graham that he channel it, and put it into your game. I think, what did he say in his book? Tony Adams put in his book something about George Graham said to him, I can't remember the exact words now, but just said to him, channel the aggression and put it into your game. And that way you'll be the better player. It's something like that. I can't remember the exact quote. And he did. And we know the outcome of all that, don't we?
Yep. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you very much indeed, sir. And that is the example that Gabriel has to copy. But for now, keep him. No questions asked.
Facts, 100%. And that's
Gabriel, keep. For me, I would just ever so slightly edge him over Saliba in terms of being an out-and-out centre-back. Bearing in mind, you know this, Rashid, as well. Like, we got him from Lille. I think it was 20 to 30 mil. When he first came through the door, right, he was rash, giving away unnecessary fouls. He was fouling on the halfway line and shit like that. Do you know what I'm saying? When he didn't need to, because he felt like in his mind or something that he didn't trust our midfield, which is kind of understandable. But even then, You don't do that shit unless you absolutely have to. He was doing that on a regular basis, but he cut that shit out of his game. The other bozo shit that he was doing, that I couldn't stand him, bro. But the fact that he's grown, and he's probably like, because when you look at other signings like Timber, you know, Arteta didn't sign Saliba. We know that. That's a Unai Emery signing. But when it comes to Gabriel, that is, you know, I would argue that that's Arteta's best signing. You could argue David Raya, and and as you guys know, he was my player of the season. But for me, Gabriel has come leaps and bounds. Do you know what I'm saying? He's definitely vice captain. I still want Declan Rice as captain. I'm on that side of the fence. But what Gabriel has done, body on the line, blocking, the fundamentals, the basics of defense, you know, he's not too far away from mastering that shit in this era. Do you know what I'm saying? For me, he's the best centre-back, out-and-out centre-back on the planet. Yes, on the ball, Saliba's better, and there's other things, you know, the passing, etc., that Saliba does better. He's a lot calmer and all of that shit. But what Gabriel brings to our team, yes, he's hot-headed, but I like that. And you need at least one of your centre-backs to have a bit of shithousery in the locker. Do you know what I'm saying? We had that with Sol Campbell in the past. So, yeah, like for me personally, it's one of the most obvious, easiest keeps as well, along with Saliba and, you know, Timber and David Raya. Like, they're our mainstay in our defence, ideally for the next few years as well, because we win the Champions League, a lot of it will be down to him as well. Never mind the penalty miss. That's on Arteta. He should never have put him in that position. But, you know, he showed cojones, innit? He put nuts on the table, Kenny Ken settings and all of that. And it is what it is. Fair play. But, you know...
You got to rate it.
Yeah, of course you got to rate it, bro. But as a defender, man, like, elite. He's another one. In a different way to Saliba, but he is definitely elite. For me, there's no better out-and-out centre-back in the world for me. Only Saliba can compete, really and truly, like in this day and age, right here, right now, now, bro. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a bit of a difference there. I like the shithousery, but there's a difference between shithousery and stupidity. Like,
I hear it.
Just
but he doesn't have that in his game as much. Obviously, against City, he got away with that.
He massively got away with that.
But you know, Haaland pisses him off. He plays the game,
but he bit, didn't he? He bit.
You know, they beef online. They beef online.
As soon as he done that headbutt, his heart probably sank and thought, what the fuck have I just done?
Yeah.
And we got away with that. Anyway.
That is saying Gabriel is Arteta's best signing. I would say Timber. Because Timber, since he started playing for Arsenal, he has not put a foot wrong. Gabriel, the first season, he wasn't that. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's my opinion on it.
I hear it, Rishi. Just very quickly before you move on. The reason why I say he's the best signing is because when Timber came through the door, you already saw the quality there. You knew he had world-class ability. Saliba wasn't brought in with Arteta, world-class ability. The only other comparison you could say is David Raya. We knew David Raya was a good goalkeeper, but even especially I never thought he would have got to the levels that he has got to now. Do you know what I'm saying? And even more so Gabriel.
Declan Rice has just entered the room.
Well,
big up Declan Rice, man.
It is what it is, but like I hear what you're saying, Rashid. But for me, like in terms of where he started and where he's at right now, like the improvement, I think when it comes to this whole, well, who's Arteta really improved? Like, is there any name you could think of? Gabriel, I would say, is number one on that list, because with Timber, there's not really anything much that Arteta improved, even defensively, to be honest, because like from the very little that we saw to start with, we knew he could defend well enough anyway. So it is what it is.
Yeah, in terms of price, if you're looking at it as in price and improvement, Gabriel's got to be number one, really, isn't he? Because Rice was 105 million. So it's a lot of money, but he's a great player. But in terms of the price he cost and how good he's become for us and how important he is,
Leadership
I'll probably agree.
Well.
I probably agree with Gabriel.
Leadership qualities, Jamboy. That's what I'm saying, as well as his defensive acumen as well. Like for me, you know, I could see why you had him, Rashid, as like player of the season. He was up there in my list, but I edged it with David Raya because he just saved us so many points, and he's improved, especially this season, tremendously. Whereas with Gabriel,
but that's on that point. Wouldn't you say Gabriel? Sorry to cut in. Wouldn't you say Gabriel's done that in his own way as well, with different blocks, blocking shots, and this kind of stuff? I hear what you're saying. It's close, but it's super close between the two for me.
Yeah, I would say Gabriel has improved more, not just because he's been here longer, but obviously that clearly has helped. But I think with Gabriel, the thing that has impressed me the most is that he got rid of them bozo moments in it. You know, he dashed the bozo gene out the window, which he could have easily not done. Do you know what I'm saying? We've had.
I think Saliba helped with that as well. Do you think Saliba?
Yeah, but because for me, the partnership that we've got at the back is the best that I've seen at this club since Campbell and Toure. So Campbell and Kolo Toure.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like for me, there's no debate. Like what Gabriel's done is absolutely marvelous. It's tremendous. But I think at the end of the day, right, you know, the fact that he's gone like leaps and bounds. You know, he's developed his game. His English has improved as well as everything else that's improved on the pitch. Yeah, he's hot-headed, but to be honest, for me personally, I think it's a part of his game. Similar to Patrick Vieira. You look at Man United, Roy Keane. Like, you know, we've always had like the odd players. We've always seen it in the Premier League, like with the hot heads. Like, you don't see it as much anymore, which is a shame. But again, that's just fucking modern football, isn't it? Robots FC and that. So
bring back Joey Barton.
Facts.
No, that is where I draw the line.
Listen, the next one up, bro. Not a foot wrong. Big up Hincapié, bro. Look again. For me, a left back or a right back should attack and defend. Going forward is alright, but defending, bro, I love that South American. Did I say that little flair? It'll be a chili, you know what I'm saying? Like it's he's very strong. 1v1 is a problem. I rate him a lot, man. But it depends how we play football. But the way Arteta plays, I'd say keep him as a starter. But in my opinion, a left back or a right back should attack and defend. So in that case, it would be a bench. But keep him definitely, man. Jez.
Yeah, for me, bench. He's a good backup player. Still work to be done there. But yeah, definitely all day long, man. It's a bench player for me.
100%, man. 100%. BBK.
Keep starting left back.
Starting straight away,
yeah.
Doesn't it bother you that he doesn't attack? It doesn't bother you.
You can improve there.
You know,
I've seen him show good character to stay on side and score a class goal at Wolves. Right? It seems like every time Gabriel Jesus and fucking Martinelli get in attacking spaces, they're always offsides. The thing is, he's a better defender than Calafiori. And in a team where we got the best defense, we have attacking players to do all the creating for him. Like, I'm not gonna throw a defensive player, a left back, away because they're not great going forward. He's not terrible going forward. Just look at the Champions League final. Doué couldn't get nothing out of him. That's why they went on the other side and targeted Mascara. Couldn't get anything out of him, bro. He's rock solid.
Then his backup must be. Does his backup need to be an attacking left back in this case?
We have that because Calafiori is everywhere but left back when he plays.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like over on the other side where we got Timber, who is the number one starter.
Balanced. Timber's balanced though.
Right. But then you got Benjamin White, who's actually better going forward. Because the year we scored the most goals, that triangle of Saka, Benjamin White, and Odegaard was something I actually give Arteta credit for, because that's the only our left side was dead since then. The left side of our attack didn't start being shit this year. He was shit in 23-24. And somehow we mustered up 91 goals from that side because Benny Blanco was good going forward. You know what I mean? Defensively, Timber is better than him, but I get it. But in Capier, I think out of all, I don't want to see Skelly back at left back. So for that reason, in Capier, I keep him and I start him over Calafiori.
100%. Jam.
Yeah, I agree with Aaron. I think he's a starting left back for me. I think Calafiori's too. We ain't got to him yet, so I'll hold that one back. Yeah, Hincapié, I know it's a debate. It's debatable with Gyökeres being the top scorer. Eze's won us a few games here and there. I think this could be our best signing of the summer. I really do. I think he's been that good. I think he's a great defender. Yeah, he'd be starting. Have we even signed this geezer yet?
I think we.
Yeah, we're signing him on the 1st of
July.
I think it was 1st of July. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's a masterstroke getting him in on loan. I think he's been brilliant. Yeah, he's not great going forward, but defensively,
he's a bargain, isn't it? He's a bargain.
I don't want all this inverting left back or going wandering. I want a solid left back to be a left back. I know he's a centre back by trade, but as versatile players go, he's been outstanding. 100% keep, and he'd be starting for me next season.
Fair enough. Rob.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Like, more my kind of left back. I do think we can get more out of him going forward. He's shown glimpses of it as well. He's kind of got a Tierney-ness about him. He just hasn't obviously been doing that as much as Tierney did when he was here. He's got a good cross on him as well. I think it was in the home leg.
Atletico. You're thinking about
Atletico. Yeah, he whipped that beautiful, like,
that
little
was beautiful,
cross.
yeah.
So he's capable of that. We need to get a bit more of that out of him. But yeah, I've really, really been impressed with him. I must admit, I didn't know too much about him when he came in. I was like, well, okay, this guy's proper. So 100% keep as a starter as well.
All the Arteta sexuals will say as well, he's got a great arse.
Yes.
Oh, knock it off.
Somewhere to park your bike.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Manny.
That seals the deal.
And all I can say to that is how you put the arse in Arsenal, and that's another reason why we got to get rid of Benny Blanco, because at least that the poor chap won't have to put up with that idiot shouting, "In Chappie, get your backside out." Ridiculous. Now, here's the thing. The thing about Hincapié is, he made his name obviously as a part of that Bayer Leverkusen team under Xabi Alonso that very nearly went, invincible, just coming up short in the Europa League final. And when he was playing, a little bit like Kieran Tierney for Scotland, and I say big up to Rob for that comparison, is that whenever you have Kieran Tierney and Andy Robertson playing for Scotland, Robertson normally goes out wide while Tierney sort of sits back as part of a back three. Or if there's a back four, Tierney slots in as one of the centre backs, but then can also provide some relief if need be. That is more or less what Hincapié did at Leverkusen with Alex Grimaldo playing on the outside. So this sort of idea that he can be used as an ultra-defensive left-back position, I would actually bench him because, hopefully, this ridiculous fetish of having the left back inverting to provide some control in the midfield will have gone by now, because after Zinchenko, after Tomiyasu, after Miles Lewis-Skelly and all those experiments have failed, Arteta should realise, I've got to evolve. I can't keep doing this. And it's still criminal how he completely mistreated Kieran Tierney. I'm so happy that he's enjoyed life back at Celtic and he gets to play for Scotland in the World Cup. What a goal he scored against Denmark, by the way. But with Hincapié, he's a utility player in that regard. He can do a job at left back, and as Rob said, he does have the ability to put in that really deceptively, dangerous cross which sort of skids along the ground and catches defenders unaware. He just doesn't do it very often, and that's sort of a little bit like how Nigel Winterburn used to be for us. Definitely very accomplished defensively, but every now and then he could go forward. He also had a wonderful left foot on him, could unleash a really good shot, and he could do a job there. But he's definitely a utility player that does actually work. I see him, however, as more of a backup for Gabriel, because he's also left-footed, just like Mr. Magalhaes. So he's the type of player who can definitely do a good job for us and definitely not put a foot wrong. He hasn't put a foot wrong this season, and that's why I say he's been our best signing. And we need to make sure that we hold him down, because believe you me, there are going to be some good clubs out there who will want to get their hands on him. So we keep him as a bench option, but as someone who will definitely see a great deal of minutes, especially if we're going to keep playing in 4 competitions every single year. He will have a role to play. I wouldn't necessarily say that I would like him to start at left back, unless the situation demands it. And, starting at left back against PSG, how he shut down Desiree Doué and how even Dembele wasn't able to find too much joy at first. It was masterstroke. But then obviously, as PSG started to get stronger, even Hinchapi was feeling the heat. But just keep Hinchapi, keep him on the bench, and, just ask him to develop his game and make sure that he is ready to do a job, because he is a successful, utility player. But bench him, definitely. And if you want to, you can maybe start him in the domestic cups.
One thing about Tierney as well, by the way, this season, I don't think he's been injured. Funny that, isn't it? We thought he was injured. We're told he was injury prone. But
I think he did have one injury, but he recovered from that. And again, that boils down to Arteta's gross mismanagement of him. I'm so happy that he's happy, and he's better off away from us. But Hinchapi, keep and bench.
Natstar.
Yeah, for me, it's a definite keep. Been one of definitely the best signing of the summer. This summer in particular. Defensively, he's pretty much flawless. Like he's up there with Gabriel to a lesser degree when it comes to just being an out and out defender. But do I see him as a left back cemented going forward? No, because going forward he doesn't do enough for me. And again, it's not his fault. It's just not his game, innit? I want to see us, go out there and get a proper fucking left back. Do you know what I'm saying? None of this inverted shit. I want to see a proper left back, even if they're more attacking, like Nuno Gomes at PSG, as an example. I'm not saying we're going to get him. I think we should get him, but I'm not saying because we're not going to blow our load. Pause on a left back, even though for me, left back position is number one priority because we don't have an out and out left back. Do you know what I'm saying? My number one pick, and it's a guy that hasn't been picked for England in the World Cup. I don't know why. And he's a European champion, albeit conference. You know who I'm talking about.
We all know.
It's Tyrick Mitchell. Tyrick Mitchell for left back.
Do you know who?
He has to be signed for Arsenal. Has to be signed.
Do you know who I want, Nats?
100%.
The Turkish left back at Brighton, Cardigolo. Yeah, that guy. Yeah, he's dangerous. He's dangerous.
You've got Truffer at Bournemouth, and you've got Anthony Robinson at Robinson at Fulham. There's enough out there.
Was it Bayer Leverkusen or Sporting? Their left back that was one of them, I think it was Bayer Leverkusen. Their left back, but nah, it couldn't be. It was the Sporting one.
Been the Sporting one, but
Sporting one, innit?
Grimaldo.
Yeah,
help me out, Nats. Help me out.
Oh, what Ronaldo that used to play for or was it Atleti or something like that? But for me, Tyrick Mitchell was number one, because Tyrick Mitchell, Prem proven. I don't like that term, but it is what it is. But he don't need to move that far away. We've already got a Palace player. Bring in another one. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's in a position where we desperately need it. Because with Hincapié, as great as it's been, for me, I want to see him play centre back more. The only time he plays left back is when we have injuries. Yeah, I want to see Tyrick Mitchell, and I also want to see a backup left back as well. But I'm not fussed with going down the academy route. I mean, we've got Salmon at right back in the academy. I forgot, so maybe it's time for him to step up. As backup right back. I don't think he can play left back, and definitely not as well. But if we have someone that we can get on the cheap or not as expensive, like an Anthony Robinson as well at Fulham, but Tyrick Mitchell for me is number one, and he won't be as expensive, even though we could have got him on a free a few years ago as well. I'm still pissed at that.
Yeah,
but we've got Andrea Mafioso, bad boy Berta, mate, in it. So I have faith. Yeah. That he will address that left back, because that is number one priority signing, because we don't have a left back. All the other positions we have, we just need quality. But left back, we don't actually have. We got Timber, who's an out and out right back. I know he's played centre back before for Ajax and all that shit, but he's an out and out right back now, and he has been for a few years. We don't have an out and out left back, not since Kieran Tierney. And like you said, Manny, the way we treated him, the way he was managed by Arteta, absolute bloody disgrace. Get Tyreek Mitchell in. It won't cost, it might cost 50 mil, but it's worth it, bruv. For number one priority signing, even if it's 60 mil, go get him, bruv. Go get him. That is exactly who we need. Defensively,
I mean, we've got the war chest, right?
Yeah. Oh, war chest. Do you know
war
what I'm saying?
chest.
But even though he's not as good going forward, he can still cross a ball, which is similar shit to what Kieran Tierney was doing. Do you know what I'm saying? But defensively sound. And Arteta loves the defensively sound.
Eze was only 52 million from Palace, and he was their best player at the time.
Yeah,
so he
so
probably wouldn't cost that much.
Yeah,
So,
why
Ness,
can't we get Mitchell for like 30, 40 mil?
You think left back was a more important priority than left wing?
No.
Yes.
Oh, no.
I do.
I think he's just
Left wing-
splashing
left wing
goal.
is dry.
We're rich, innit? We're rich.
But the reason why I say that is because I'm not as concerned in terms of who we can bring in. When it comes to left back, we've had left-sided players, left wingers, left mids. You know, Smith Rowe, even though he's more of a number 10, was playing out on the left. We got rid of him. Reece Nelson could play either flank. It looks like we'll probably get rid of him. Do you know what I'm saying? Martinelli didn't work out. Trossard, you know, too inconsistent. But I'm not concerned in terms of who we're going to bring in because there are enough options. Whereas with left back, there's not as many. And I think it's more crucial to tighten up that, or not even just tighten up, complete that defense. I'm not saying it has to be the first signing, but it has to be number one priority in terms of don't leave it to transfer fucking deadline day. Do you know what I'm saying? If we get the left winger first, that's fine. I'm cool with that. Whoever we get. But we need a fucking left back. We've not had a left back since Kieran Tierney. People need to realise this shit.
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. I think left back and right back are a concern at the moment, but I think right back's more of a problem at the moment than left back because we've got two injury-prone players really in effect.
Yeah, but you said, Jamboy, that you'd start Hincapié at left back because I wouldn't.
Yeah,
not consistently. If he fills in pause like here and there for injuries and he plays left back in cup games, you know, as part of rotation, I'm good with that. I'm calm with that. But as a week in, week out left back, not for me because we need someone that can, you know, is a specialist in that position. Someone that knows that position, that's played that position in the Premier League as a bonus, can go forward, but is in this particular case more so defensively sound and can cross a ball, which will play into the hands of Gyökeres and even Havertz when he comes on for like 20 minutes, which is what he should be utilised for anyway. So as we all know, so for me, left back is number one priority, and then I will probably say like left wing and the other positions. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I don't think it's going to be as difficult to get a left-sided, a left winger, a left mid, a left winger, left forward, left back. Different story, and we need to cement that right here, right now. Fatboy Slim says.
Yeah, 100%. Jez, yeah, we're gonna end on Calafiore. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Big up DL legend, absolute legend. D Dubs, big up to you too. But yeah, listen, the next one up is Calafiore, people. I don't know about anybody else, but I think we can get a little bit of money by selling Calafiore. I think he's probably going to be the one that we will get a little bit of money on. I think other teams are rating him, which I find surprising. But like he's been better. You know, he done better than the season before. But listen, man, the thing is that it's time for you to go because I feel like we can get better out there, and we can make money on you. So it's a double one. It's a double one. I'll be honest with you lot. Yeah. Sell. Mourinho can have him. Exactly. I think Mourinho rates him. So maybe, you know, we can get a little bit of money on Calafiore. I've got three choices. Like I said, the Turkish brother from Brighton, the Sporting guy, Araujo. Oh, he's dangerous. We've got a defensive left back. Let's just get an attacking left back. Or we can go get maybe, but he's a bit too expensive. Maybe his wages are a bit too high. Theo Hernandez, you know, very dangerous player. He's still 28 years old. But yeah, it's very hard to get him from there because he's on big dough. But yeah, sell for me. Jez?
Yeah, sorry, too inconsistent for my liking. He's done some good stuff, I won't deny. But, you know, if you're playing in the top flight and you want to challenge consistently, then you've got to do better than that. Yeah, he's just not the levels for me. Sell him, get the money we can get for him, move on, get somebody else. And he's one of the people I picked out 2 months ago when I did I talked about this, that and he's one of the top of the pile. Just not quite the levels we need, I'm afraid. Decent player, inconsistent, but no, not enough for me. So yeah, sell him, get what we can. And on that note, gentlemen, I have to go. And it's been a pleasure chatting.
Big up, Jez.
Take care, sir.
Big up, Jez.
See you soon.
Take it easy, mate.
Catch you another day. Take care, boys.
Yeah, 100%. Part 2, of course. Part 2. Big up Blacks, man. Big up D-Dubs as well in the chat. It's a split. I mean, D-Dubs is saying keep. He's saying keep. K-Now is saying sell. Bench or sell. BBK, what's your thoughts on this one, man? You rate him?
Calafiori is a tricky one because this was the season that I gave him to prove himself, because I always give a player coming from a different league, you know, the second season, because a lot of guys come to this league and struggle and go on to have fantastic careers. I understand the people who want to keep him, but the second year that I gave him to prove himself, he didn't really convince me. You know what I mean? And this is one of the reasons why I'm not opposed to another left back, what Natsa was saying, because I'm of the belief that Calafiori, not Nkapia, can check all those boxes, because I watch him for club and country, and he plays left back, left side, center back. But if we're going to sell Calafiori, I can understand why another left back would come in. But if I'm literally split 50-50 on it with the Calafiori thing. But if I have to pick, lean aside,
we'll get a little bit of money for him, BBK.
Yeah, I'll probably sell him. Yeah, I'll probably sell him, because I think we can improve there. Because now when Bertha makes phone calls now, you know, the phone rings differently. You know what I'm saying? As a Premier League champion, I think we can upgrade there. So yeah,
I think he was speaking about Rome as well. I think he was speaking about Rome.
Yeah, I'd sell him.
Oh, fair enough. Jam.
Yeah, I agree with Taron. It's a bit like the Ben White one for me. It's a 50-50, but I'd probably edge more towards sell, mainly because of the injuries. I mean, the best ability is availability, and I just don't think he's reliable enough over a period of a season to not get injured 3, 4, 5 times. And I just that could be anyone that comes in with the system and the lack of rotation. It's a shame because but again, I'm not. If he stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. I'm not really too fussed where this one's concerned. He's scored some important goals for us at times, and he does get forward and does well when he gets in the opposition half. But like I said, I want my defenders to be better defenders than they are attackers. So I would cash in on Calafiori. I've got a feeling he might want to go anyway to back home or to somewhere else. And I would, genuinely, I would bring in Tyreek Mitchell if I could get him. Tyreek Mitchell or Truther from Bournemouth, Anthony Robinson, the Leverkusen left back. You want to back Grimaldo?
Oh, Grimaldo, yeah, he's.
Well, no, I was on about Araujo, the Sporting one.
Oh, yeah. No, I thought it was.
He's like a left wing back because they play with the 3-5, innit?
Yeah. Because Grimaldo is more of a wing back left mid. Do you know what I'm saying? So
well, maybe it's a wing back that we need if he wants them to attack. Someone that's a good defender and a good attacker at the same time. Because Calafiori's not great defensively. I don't think he is.
Especially when he's on the right wing half the time.
Yeah, he's playing at left back and he's up front or he's on the right hand side.
You're like, where's Calafiori gone? And then you're looking around the pitch. Oh, he's over there. Oh, he's over there.
Declan Rice is having to drop into left back. You know what I mean? I just don't. But yeah, Calafiori is another one. If he's here next season, so be it. If he goes, I won't lose any sleep. So hopefully we'll get a bit of money, and we will definitely need to improve the left back situation if he goes. But yeah, I'm with Taron. I agree with Taron.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Rob.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tricky one for me. I think I would go kind of basically what with Jamboy just said about getting rid of him. And you did say to get rid of him, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll favour moving him on, yeah.
And to bring in Mitchell, because I was going to say before you said that, my answer was kind of a switched around version of what Nats was saying. But yeah, because Tyreek Mitchell has been one I've had my eye on for a while. But with Calafiori, like I just alluded to, the amount of times this season when he's actually been playing, because that's another thing, you know, I like the idea that we can get more cash for him now, because if he has another mad injured season, that's going to reduce his value. So maybe that's a salient point as well. But yeah, the amount of times this season I've been sat watching it, I'm like, hang on, what's Calafiori? You're trying to figure out where the fuck he is. And it's like, maybe he can be developed as a more attacking player in some kind of attacking role, but we're talking about him as a left back, obviously, and he obviously isn't a left back to me. So yeah, I would err on the side of getting rid of him, and whilst we can get some decent money for him. And there's in the context of these rumblings from Roma and Real, yeah, I think it seems like the right time to do that and bring in someone like Mitchell. How old is Mitchell, by the way? He's 20. Is he 24?
26, maybe. 26. No.
Yeah, it's 26.
So, yeah, he's still youngish man, isn't he? So yeah, I would go with that. That would be my choice. Yeah.
Fair enough, Manny.
I'll get rid of him, to be brutally honest with you. Basically, for the reason that if he feels a little bit homesick and he feels as though, you know, he'd like to sort of explore an option to go back home, then, you know, Jamboy said it perfectly. If you don't want to be here, then, you know, don't let the door hit you where our Lord and Savior slipped you, I would say. And I'm not saying that to be harsh in that respect. I'm also sort of the opinion that if he would just, you know, deign to improve himself a bit defensively, he would actually be a really good contrasting left back option.
Yeah,
you know, someone who doesn't really overlap like a traditional left back, but someone who actually does invert properly. And he is the ideal inverted left back that, you know, Arteta would want. He's certainly not done a better job than Zinchenko. But now we're at a stage right now where we can't afford to, you know, keep fullbacks who invert all the live long day but can't defend for toffee. And it seems to me as though going back to Italy and playing under a manager who will employ a system where he'll be used to his benefit might be the best thing for him. That will free up some good funds that we can use to, you know, strengthen that position and be a little bit tighter, because I think this inversion perversion, as I proudly call it, I think it's now bitten the dust, because even Pep doesn't use that anymore. So it's we need to sort of get rid of that, to be brutally honest. And I just think with Calafiori, he has had some good moments, but the fact that he wasn't even trusted to come off the bench in the Champions League final when maybe he could have done a job, I think that pretty much says it all. You know, another left-back connection. I think it was mentioned the 2000 UEFA Cup final, which we lost on penalties. Nigel Winterburn was an unused sub that day, and he pretty much had his place in the team usurped by Silvinho, and later on Ashley Cole would come in. So he knew at that moment that he was surplus to requirements, and if he stayed at Arsenal, his career would have just deteriorated. So he decided, enough's enough. I've loved my time with the Gunners, but it's time for me to move on and extend my career, which he did at West Ham, which he enjoyed. And so I think a move would be best for both parties. So in this case as well, if Calafiori feels homesick and feels as though he'd like a new challenge, I'd say, you know, sell him and get someone who can improve the quality of our squad. So sell. Arrivederci.
Fair enough. Nah.
Grazie mille. But don't come back to us.
Nuts.
Yeah, for me, it's an easy sell. I mean, the thing is with Calafiori, like, it's his best season, but that's not really saying much. He gets injured too many times, and even then, right, you know, when you have your left back gallivanting at right wing and up front, it's clear and obvious for me and anyone that knows ball to see. I'm a poet, I fully well know it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's one of them where he's a forward, bruv. He's not a defender. He's not even a midfielder. Maybe you could play him at left wing. I could see that, as Gianni mentioned when I was on his stream. Not last time, but the time before, something like that. But for me, the only way Calafiori stays is if he's like a backup left winger, and on 130k a week, can we afford to really have him as a backup left winger, left forward? I don't think so. And we can get better for cheaper and on a lot less money as well. Calafiori, yeah, he's got tech, but for me, that's not enough because we got Odegaard, he's got a bit of tech. He ain't been performing. Saka as well. But for me, Calafiori, like, you know, talking about like him being homesick and all that, whether he goes to Real, whether he goes back to Roma or elsewhere in Syria, like, I'm all for it. Even if we sell him for like 30, 25 mil, even 20 mil, I'd take it right here, right now. Fat Boy Slim settings. You know the deal, people. Back once again for the Renegade Master.
Had to get it in. We've gone 2 hours 30. I think it's the first time.
The ill behaviour, bro. With the ill behaviour, bro. And Calafiori's been doing that ill behaviour, bro, for way too long. And at left back, I can't stand it any longer. Do you know what I'm saying? We have to move on. I don't want Skelly playing in that position. That's why I'm sticking with Tyreek Mitchell. Anthony Robinson, the guy from what's his face? What was it? Bournemouth or
Truther.
Yeah, Truther.
Yeah, Robinson's from Fulham. Truther's from Bournemouth.
Yeah. I knew Robinson was a Fulham, but yeah, either way. Any of them other names outside of Tyreek Mitchell as backup, I'm cool with. Because again, like I said, and I'll end it on this, right? For me, left back is number one priority position. It doesn't have to be the first signing, but it has to be the signing that gets done before we go on pre-season tour. Do you know what I'm saying? And if not, for whatever bloody reason, just after that. Do you know what I'm saying? And if it's Tyreek Mitchell after pre-season and he's already, you know, proven, you know, he's had his rest and, you know, not going to the World Cup, so he'll be raring to go and shit. I'm all for that. Do you know what I'm saying? Andrea Mafioso, bad boy Burton, mate. Get that shit done.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Big up to everyone that's locked in. Hey, listen.
Yeah.
Big up to the real ones, man. That's been through with us. It's been elite stream, man. Them. Obviously, we couldn't fit in everything, you know, the whole team. So we're going by goalkeeper, defender, midfielder, and then we'll go to the forwards. Do you know what I'm saying? So.
Right.
Yeah.
When we were still at Calafiori after 2.5 hours, I'm sitting there thinking my back can't handle fucking getting to the strikers.
That's why I got something to eat. That's why you saw me eating, because I was like, "Oh shit, we're going to be going through the whole thing."
That's what I'm doing. This my back is fucked.
We'll be here for another 4 hours. That's
can we do it in 3 goes?
We're going to go. We are 3 in it. It's goalkeeper, defenders, midfielders, and then forwards. But big up to everyone that's locked in. Big up, absolute real ones, man, that showed love. You know, anybody that liked the stream, shared it. Big up, of course, to the panel. Big up to Jez, BBK, Jam, Rob, Manny, Nats, absolute legends, bro. Listen, people, we're going to redirect you to Ahmed's Man United news. So, yeah, go show him some love. And we're out, people. Catch me on Tuesday.
Take it easy.
Probably after work, so it'd have to be like 7 or something like that. So, yeah, Tuesday, hopefully we'll do the midfielders edition. And, yeah, if you want to catch a vibe with us, come over, man. Peak stream. Facts. Big up Blacks, man. Big up Blacks. And we're out, people.